Attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching, yes,
Well, the Yankees exploded for 13 runs on 21 hits yesterday to take the second game of the three-game set, and the fans are filing into Coors Field to settle in for Game 3. It is the Hyundai Sunday Game of the Week as the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It'll be the New York Yankees against the Colorado Rockies from Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. I'm John Flaherty, joined by Jeff Nelson again. You know, a lot of Yankee fans made the trip to Denver this weekend. They wanted to get a glimpse of the captain hitting at Coors Field. He is not disappointed.
No, he definitely has not disappointed anyone all season. Well, he's knocking stadiums off of that list of not hitting a home run, and he's hit 2 here in Colorado. This was on Friday. It was a wall scraper, number 17. Then he goes the opposite way in yesterday's ball game, number 18, 405 feet. He's now tied with Kyle Schwarber with the major league lead with 18 homers.
Well, we'll take a look at the leaders brought to you by your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. Babe Ruth, 126 home runs in the first inning. Mickey Mantle, 103. Lou Gehrig, 84. And Aaron Judge now on their heels with 72. Judge has been hot all year, but you have to talk about the Yankees rotation. It has been one of the best in baseball over the last couple of weeks. We're going to dive right into our pitching matchup, which is brought to you by Home Depot, getting it done. It's going to be Will Warren with his 4.05 ERA against Antonio Senzatella with his 6.34. And Nelly, you got to be talking about Will Warren, saying he's just gotten better from the first start to his last.
He has. And in Sacramento, it all goes back to that. His last 3 starts have been incredible. This was his last one against Texas. 10 strikeouts, a career high, 5 2/3 of shutout baseball. They said this was probably his best start. I think you go back to Sacramento when he faced the A's, 7 1/3. He's been outstanding. What's been more impressive? 3 walks in his last 3 starts.
Yeah, here are the numbers. His last 3, 2-0, 1.50 ERA, and you just mentioned it, 3 walks and 26 strikeouts. Career high 10 his last time out against the Rangers. Will Warren has settled into the bottom end of this rotation. Meredith Marakovits caught up with him, how he feels in the rotation, and about pitching here in Denver. Meredith Marakovits when we come back.
Coors Field for Yankees baseball on Yes. Series finale between the Yankees and the Colorado Rockies coming your way in just a few minutes. Hey everyone, I'm Meredith Marakovits. Will Warren will get the ball for the Yankees this afternoon, and he has been dealing over his last 3 starts, pitching to a 1.5 ERA, opposing batters hitting just 194 against him. Yesterday, I caught up with Warren and asked him what the common thread has been over those 3 starts.
Yeah, I think attacking early, being aggressive through the zone, letting the guys play behind me, and, you know, getting the hitters on their heels.
You talk a lot about being aggressive and getting ahead. How do you get that aggressive mindset every time you're out there?
Yeah, having confidence in what you throw, knowing that you're here for a reason, and, you know, at the end of the day, believing that your stuff's better than whatever that guy's got in the box.
When did you start believing it this season?
I think I've you know, had that belief for a while. It's just about putting everything together.
How validating is it for you to get those results and be a big piece of this rotation?
Yeah, huge. You know, I want to help the team win as much as possible, so anytime I can go out there and take the ball and go deep into the game, it's nice to do.
This place a little interesting with the elevation. How much do you talk to guys like Clark Schmidt and other pitchers to see how your stuff might play here? Yeah,
a lot of information in that clubhouse, so yeah, I think it's about, you know, taking, you know, a little bit about, yeah, like maybe your stuff's not going to move as much here. That's the common theme, but I think you still got to trust it. You know, it's baseball. At the end of the day, it's the hardest thing to do is hit the ball. So being aggressive through the zone with what you got.
As expected, J.C. Escarra will be behind the plate, so Austin Wells is available off the bench. And the outfield today, left to right, will be Dominguez, Bellinger, and Judge, so Trent Grisham is the odd man out there. Plenty more to come here on the Yes Network. When we get back, John Flaherty will be joined by Jeff Nelson. First pitch coming your way after the break.
Yankees baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Hyundai. Test drive a new Hyundai today only at your local Hyundai dealer. And by the New York Lottery. Get out there and play. And by Optimum Fiber. Get Optimum, the fastest fiber internet. Don't take slow for an answer. Look back at some of the great players who have played both here in Colorado and for the Bombers in New York. Joe Girardi was at the beginning of that list.
He was the original Rocky back in '93. I think he was taken off the Cubs roster, right?
Picked up in the expansion draft. Started here when Colorado began their franchise.
I didn't know Giambi was Rocky, though. Big G. A little rough then.
Well, we're going to take a look at the New York Yankees starting lineup this afternoon. Paul Goldschmidt, a red-hot hitter, leading off playing first. Ben Rice back in the lineup, DHing. Aaron Judge out in right field hitting third. Cody Bellinger will clean up and play center field. Jason Dominguez back out in the outfield and left. Anthony Volpe playing shortstop. J.C. Escarra gets a start behind the plate. DJ LeMahieu in second hitting eighth. And Oswald Peraza playing third base and batting ninth.
Now there you see the numbers for Tony Senzatella. Had a little rough start to his year. You look at the hits against 84 hits in those 49 2/3. Well, let's check out the Nissan Pitchers scouting report on Senzatella. First pitch strikes. He's having a hard time getting ahead, and that's one of the reasons why you see those 84 hits against this year. Four-seamer has been getting crushed. That four-seam fastball has an average of 400. And lefties are also crushing Senzatella. 414 average against. He has good stuff. He's just not had the success he's had before in years past.
Senzatella finishing up his warm-up tosses. Look at the defense brought to you by your local Tri-State Chevy dealers. Beck out in left, Doyle again in center field, Moniak out in right, McMahon back at third base, Tovar playing short, Amador at second, Talia at first base. Martini's going to DH, Goodman back behind the plate this afternoon, and Nelly just gave you all of the numbers on Tony Senzatella. And the keys to the game brought to you by your local Kia dealers.
Well, early runs, you love to have some early runs to settle down Will Warren, just to let him settle into the game. Keep the line moving. Yesterday, 10 runs in that fifth inning. They were 8 for 17 with runners in scoring position. Every starter had a hit in that Yankee lineup. And make it 6. You win today. That's 6 straight series wins for the Yanks.
I'm glad you bring that up, Nelly. The Colorado Rockies have not won a series all year. The Yankees have been doing a good job finishing up series, trying to take this final game, head out to Anaheim afterwards and play 3 against the Angels. And it'll be Paul Goldschmidt leading off. You see the numbers, 344 batting average and having a good series. First pitch swinging, popped up, McMahon on the move, Goodman behind the plate. Both of them can't come up with it. Let's take a look at Edwin Jimenez behind the plate, and he is a hitter-friendly umpire. Fewer inside strikes on left-handers, fewer low strikes on right-handers, and he's just starting out his big league career, third major league season.
It's like right on that cusp of being neutral and hitter-friendly.
Trying to figure out his strike zone. He's only got 3 years in the league. Come on, he hasn't made all the stops yet.
So we're saying small sample size?
Exactly. Fastball in there to get head 0-2. Goldschmidt's had a good series, 4 for 8, couple of RBIs. The Yankees threw 13 on the board yesterday, 21 hits. Well, there's another hit for Goldschmidt. Bounces it right back up the middle, and the Yankees are at it again.
Now, we talked about Goldschmidt yesterday, how it seems like every at-bat or every pitch is a 2-strike approach. That was 0-2. He got a slider out over the middle of the plate. He just goes right back up the middle, real short swing, stays on the baseball a long time.
Ben Rice back in the lineup, DH this afternoon. Grisham gets the afternoon off. We talked about that game yesterday, 13-1, 21 hits. It's a major league high 15th game scoring 8 or more runs. And he looked up and down the lineup. Everybody had a hit, all the starters on RBI. And we talked about it Friday night, Nelly. What a great place to hit here at Coors Field.
Yeah, and Freeland was dealing, only giving up that one run in the first inning, the home run by Judge, and then all of a sudden everything fell apart on him in that 5th inning. He and Sensatella really had a rough start in this rotation for the Rockies.
We'll take a look at our game time weather presented by Bigelow, the official hot tea of the New York Yankees, and we'll pay attention to this weather forecast. 56% chance of rain, and a little chilly, 57 degrees, 78% humidity. Word on the street, maybe in a couple of hours, a chance of
3
some rain.
o'clock. Looking at the radar.
Hopefully we can get this one in without any interruptions.
Yeah, you go from about 85 to high 50s. 85 on Friday, high 50s on Sunday.
After the game, the Yankees will pack up and head out to Anaheim. 3 against the Angels, a day off, and then 3 against the Dodgers. So get some beautiful weather out in sunny California. And the 1-2 that misses off the plate in. We were told the scouting report on Sensatella. It's fastball straight, not a whole lot of movement, with a little bit of a slider. And you know Aaron Judge waiting on deck is locked in on those pitches.
Yeah, fastball 94 to 97, has that slider like you mentioned. He'll throw a curveball, a changeup, and a 2-seamer. Really shocked that he doesn't throw the 2-seamer more, especially here in Colorado. Get a little sink, try to keep the ball on the ground.
Well, it'll be a full count. We'll see if Goldschmidt will be on the move. He's stolen 4 bases on the year. If he is running, it would be trusting a young hitter like Ben Rice to command the strike zone, not expand. If it's over the plate, put it in play. Goldschmidt not running. Rice slices one foul. Ben Rice finished up yesterday's ball game behind the plate, getting a little work catching defensively, and did a good job with Ian Hamilton.
He did. He's gotten some time. He's finished up some ball games behind the plate. Be interesting to see when that first time is where he gets a full game.
There's a hot shot to right field. Moniak comes in, is able to make the play on a line to throw to first. Not in time is Goldschmidt able to get back. So Ben Rice hit it right on the nose. Nothing to show for it.
That was a 4-seam fastball, and it's just a line drive. There you see Moniak coming in on it. He tries to get Goldschmidt at first. He's able to get back. There you see Tolia. He's at the edge of that bag. Didn't block the base. Could have been obstruction if he did.
Well, here's Aaron Judge. We talked about him in the open to our show. You cannot miss an at-bat in the first inning. 72 first-inning home runs. Skies this one to right field. Moniak on the move. He's not going to come up with it. It's going to be fair ball. Goldschmidt all the way to third. So not a first-inning home run for Aaron Judge, but a first-inning base hit. And the Yankees are set up here first and third, 1 down.
Now they can hit him over the fence 405 feet, and they can hit one off the end of the bat. The Rockies play him more towards right center field. Moniak, and it just stays fair down that right field line. Nice read by Goldschmidt as well with 1 out. He knew that was going to drop, and he goes first to third.
The Yankees trying to get on the board early, and one of their hottest hitters up at the plate, Cody Bellinger, not happy with that first pitch strike. The month of May, 18 games for Bellinger, a .351 batting average, 11 extra base hits, 14 RBIs. He had 3 hits yesterday, was a homer shy of the cycle. And a chance to get the Yankees on the board early. Goldschmidt off of third, Judge off of first. I just mentioned those numbers for Bellinger in May, and really it's just been about better balance, better pitch selection, not chasing out of the zone. Hot shot. Tolia comes up with it. Goes to second base. They get the out there. And they do not get the next out at first as Bellinger hustling down the line, able to beat it out. It'll be an RBI for Bellinger. Yankees lead 1-0.
Well, I think the Yankees got a break because Tolia probably should have tagged first and then gone to second. Bellinger has good speed.
Well, for 2 days we talked about the Rockies, not a great defensive team, leading the league in errors. That'll extend the inning for Jason Dominguez back in left field this afternoon. Played left field on Friday night and did a good job out there. Made a couple of nice plays.
Yeah, not an easy outfield to play in. The largest outfield in baseball.
Dominguez 3 for 6 in the series. Played left field Friday night. DH'd yesterday. Got a couple of hits from the right side yesterday. So Dominguez's all-around game starting to come together now. Here we're coming up on the end of May. Swing and a miss. Senzatella able to work its way out of the first innings, but the Yankees going to run up on the board. It'll be Will Warren when we come back. Yankees with an early 1-0 lead. Let's take a look at the Colorado Rockies lineup that their manager Warren Schaefer is going to throw out for the final game of this series. Jordan Beck leading off in left field. Tovar, the good shortstop, hitting second. Hunter Goodman back behind the plate hitting third. Ryan McMahon back in the lineup cleaning up playing third. Brenton Doyle out in center field. Michael Tolia at first base. Mickey Moniak out in right field. Nick Martini, the designated hitter. And Adiel Amador hitting ninth and playing second base.
And the numbers for Will Warren on the year, that ERA is going down. His last 3 starts have been outstanding. The strikeouts have been there. 60 strikeouts, almost 12 per 9 for Will Warren. Well, let's check out the Nissan Pitchers scouting report. Early outs, he's done a great job of limiting the number of pitches per inning and also per at bat. He's got a lot of swing and miss. At last 3 starts, 26 strikeouts. More important, I think, 3 walks in those 18 innings. And adapt to the conditions. You don't know how that breaking ball, the curveball, and the slider is going to play here in Colorado. So that's a learn by pitching here in the first inning.
Well, first pitch swinging. Beck blocks it off down the right field line. That's going to be extra bases. Judge comes up with it clean. And Jordan Beck a leadoff double to start off the afternoon for the Rockies.
Well, we saw Colorado in the first 2 games be very aggressive on the fastball, especially early in the count. This was probably a ball, but it's a 4-seamer upstairs that Beck just hammers down that right field line. He's got good speed, but he holds up at second for a leadoff double.
Jordan Beck 1 for 4 in yesterday's game, off to a good start in this one, and that'll bring up the very talented shortstop for the Rockies, Ezequiel Tovar, who was 2 for 3 in yesterday's game. Rockies looking to answer back. Squares the bunt, pulls it back. Well, yeah, Will Warren out on the mound. His last 3 starts, a 1.50 ERA. J.C. Escarra behind the plate. These 2 guys have a good thing going. As Tovar skies one down the right field line, this is going to slice and find the seats. We'll take a look at the Yankees defensively, brought to you by your Tri-State Chevy dealers. We've already seen Aaron Judge in right field, Bellinger in center, Dominguez in left, Peraza at third, Volpe at short, LeMahieu at second, Goldschmidt at first, Ben Rice, your DH, just mentioned J.C. Escarra behind the plate, and Will Warren out on the mound. You got Escarra behind the plate, who works well with Will Warren. You had Austin Wells behind the plate yesterday, who's locked in with Max Fried. Kind of like the way Aaron Boone is setting these battery combinations up early on. Slider slapped right back up the middle. Beck, a good jump, but he's going to hold at third as Ezekiel Tovar continues his good series against the Yankees.
Well, adapting to the conditions, and that's the first breaking pitch that Warren has thrown. And here you see it doesn't have that nasty break. The last 3 starts, he's got a good curveball and a really good sweeping slider with a lot of good bite on it. But here it's not going to play that way like it does in every other stadium. That was a pitch that Tovar just went down and just slapped into center field.
I'll bring up Hunter Goodman, but Nelly, I want to ask you, for a young kid pitching for the first time here at Coors Field and the elevation, you almost see the wheels spinning now, like what's going to happen here?
Yeah, you know, I listened to Meredith's interview about talking to some of the guys about the elements and how to pitch in Colorado, and it's almost, you know, I never wanted to know anything about a stadium as far as you go to Boston and you see the Green Monster, because some of it, and even watching opponent's batting practice,
yeah,
you know, I didn't want to see those guys hit. You know, that can intimidate not just a young pitcher, but a veteran pitcher. And I think it's all about feel. You don't really know what your breaking ball is going to do. I think it's all different with everyone. You know, you could go out there and Will Warren say, hey, I don't feel any kind of difference. You know, I'm just snapping that slider off like I do everywhere else. But you can see that it's not breaking like it does everywhere else.
52.80 is the altitude. Warren falling behind in the count to Hunter Goodman, who's been their best RBI guy with 31.
You know, even in spring training in Arizona, you never really saw the true breaking ball. You never, I mean, the good slider, it didn't break as well as once you left spring training and got to your city. I think when you know that you don't have the slider or curveball, you really got to concentrate on the command of the fastball and maybe start using the changeup a little bit more.
Maybe the two-seamer a little bit more too, which we've seen from Will Warren has been a real good pitch for him early on. Misses there, so a walk to Goodman, and the bases are loaded. Nobody out here in the first.
Well, that's a good visit here by Matt Blake and also Escara, just settling them down. It's the first inning. That's one of the toughest innings for a starter. You get used to the game mound. You have a hitter in there for the first time, and obviously pitching here in Coors Field.
Nelly, for 2 days we've been talking about stay away from the big inning, right, in this stadium. I feel for a young pitcher right now, you trade an out for a run and just try to limit the damage and get out of here.
Exactly, and you're hoping Matt Blake just settling him down, saying, hey, listen, okay, let's a nice little two-seamer. I remember Mel Stoudemire used to come out every time, and he'd say, hey, okay, let's get a double play, two-seamer away.
Yep.
And make a good pitch. You know, a lot of times hitters will look for that first pitch fastball after a mound visit. But if you're going to throw that first pitch fastball, make it quality.
One of the traps for a young pitcher that I've seen so many times, I'm going to pitch my way out of this and not give up a run. Not an easy situation here. Pitch to contact, trade an out or two maybe for a run and limit the damage and move on. Tough customer up at the plate. Ryan McMahon had yesterday's game off. He's first pitch swinging, fouls it straight back. McMahon a better hitter than his numbers right now, and you see the numbers for Warren his last 3. Pretty impressive. 2-0 with a 1.5.
This would be a good opportunity for that changeup. He throws it well a lot to lefties. See if you can get one down and away.
Escara gets behind him. Beck on the move, and aggressive base running by Jordan Beck. That ball did not get too far away from J.C. Escara. Aggressive heads-up base running. We're all tied up.
Well, it's a changeup down, and it just gets past Escara, and Jimenez blocked out Escara from trying to find that ball. You watch where that ball is. You're right, Flash. It didn't get very far back. Very aggressive. And Escara had a hard time with Jimenez, the home plate umpire, shield him from the baseball.
Boy, that is textbook right there from Beck. You take your secondary lead, have your weight forward, so if you see the ball in the dirt, you have good momentum towards home plate. Man, 211, 6 home runs, 14 RBIs. He was the all-star representative last year for the Rockies, and he's a better hitter than those numbers, and had the big hit Friday night. The Rockies took game 1. Yankees playing the infield back. They're trading out for the run. Warren struck out 10 his last outing against the Rangers. I'm sure he's thinking strikeout here. 2-2 misses off the plate away.
Well, you got ahead of the count, and then all of a sudden a couple changeups down, and then you try to backdoor that breaking ball right there, and now it's even, and it's almost a fastball count. If you're going to throw a fastball, it's a good time for a two-seamer down and away.
This fastball down the middle, fouled off. 94 miles an hour with the velo.
And that was right down the middle. Two fastballs that he's thrown to McMahon, and both have been right down the middle of the plate. And keep that front shoulder closed a little bit longer, flying open here in the first inning.
And the 3-2. That's a ground ball to the right side. Goldschmidt up with it. It'll be an out, but it'll also be another Colorado Rocky run as they take an early 2-1 lead. Take a look at StatCast 3D, brought to you by Google and Will Warren and his pitch arsenal.
Well, you see the fastball 93 to 95. He has the sweeper 25% of the time, the two-seamer, the changeup, and the curveball. He really doesn't throw a whole lot. The average against has been outstanding. You know, you see the off-speed, that sweeper, and the two-seamer over 300.
Infield defense now brought in, trying to cut off that run at third. And a good sinking fastball to get ahead in the count.
Also, when your breaking ball is not breaking as well as it is here, you have to come inside with a fastball. You're going to have to show them something in. So maybe if you throw that slider away, you'll get a swing and a miss.
We just saw from that graphic, the four-seamer has been a good pitch for Will Warren. He's going with a couple of sinkers here to Brenton Doyle. 216, 4 home runs, 18 RBIs in his 43 games. Swing and a miss on a good four-seamer. The one thing we have seen Nelly early on in his young career, he gets some swings and misses on fastballs in the strike zone.
It looks like it has some late life to it.
Doyle 1 for 4 in yesterday's game. Swing and a miss. Big strikeout for Will Warren. 2 down.
Another four-seam fastball upstairs, climbs the ladder on him at 94 miles an hour.
Well, 2 down will bring up the switch-hitting first baseman Michael Toglia. Drove in the only run in yesterday's game for the Rockies. Hot shot. Volpe to his backhand, comes up with it. Will he have enough on the throw? And he doesn't. Toglia able to beat it out, an infield single. And another run scored for the Rockies. A nice play by Volpe to get there going to his right. Couldn't get enough on the throw.
Yeah, it looked like he might have slipped on that grass, too. This is a heck of a play. This is a hard shot. Looks like he had a hard time getting it out of his glove, and also they may take a look at this.
Yankees are going to challenge this call. Crew chief on the left, Andy Fletcher. Is there enough to overturn it?
After review, the call on the field is overturned. Runners out.
Call on the field is overturned. So a great play by Anthony Volpe. He did have enough on the throw. We'll be back. Hey, let's check out our FanDuel's live same-game parlay. Paul Goldschmidt to record 2+ hits. Volpe to record an RBI. Will Warren to record 7+ strikeouts to hit that 3-way parlay.
You like that? I like that.
Will Warren, you got to love his strikeout stuff. Volpe has been swinging the bat well. Had 3 hits yesterday, 2 RBIs, couple of runs. And anytime you mention Paul Goldschmidt laying out a hit or 2, that's pretty good.
Well, he already has 1.
Pretty good bet. Mentioned the 3 hits, couple RBIs, and 2 runs for Volpe yesterday. That tied a season high in hits from a game earlier against the Pittsburgh Pirates. And this ball hit well deep to right center field. Doyle back. It's going to be off the wall, and it gets away from Doyle. Volpe around second, on his way to third. Anthony Volpe continues his hot hitting with a leadoff stand-up triple. Drove that ball a long way.
Well, good aggressive swing. A fastball right down the middle of the plate, and it's just going to carry out the center field. The center fielder Doyle, watch how this carries out. Doyle goes back, thinks he might have a play on it, and then hits right above the bullpen there. Ricochets towards left field. That allows Volpe to get in there with a leadoff triple.
And Nelly settle in. This might be one of those days. Both clubs look like they're swinging the bats. Big swing and a miss from J.C. Escarra.
And the Rockies will play their infield back as well. Give up a run for an out.
Home run, 4 RBIs. Escarra played first base to finish up yesterday's game. Picked up a base hit. The 2-1 from Senzatella, and that's slapped the other way, and that's going to be a base hit. Volpe scores easily. Escarra around first. He will settle into second base with an RBI double, and the hits just keep on coming for the Bombers. We're all tied up at 2.
Escarra in a hitter's count, 2-1 fastball. That's an outstanding piece of hitting right there. You could easily roll over on that because you want to be aggressive. He just goes the other way. A pitch on the outside corner. There you see the third baseman McMahon playing more towards shortstop, so he was well off the line.
Well, they bring up DJ LeMahieu. DJ's enjoyed his time back at Coors Field. 3 for 7 in the series, looking to add on here. As Escarra takes his lead off of second base. Batting average now at .269, a home run, 3 RBIs. And Nelly, when I watch LeMahieu hit, it reminds me of Goldschmidt, that the situation is going to dictate what he's trying to do. Runner at second, nobody out. Almost guarantee you he's looking to drive the ball to the right side of the field, drive in a run, if not advance a runner. Yep, that inside out swing fouls it off.
Yesterday was a much needed game for him. He got off to a decent start, then slowed down a little bit, and those 3 hits. 3 for 5 with an RBI yesterday. He needed that one.
He's played 10 games against the Rockies in his career. The batting average now at .459. Behind in the count here, 0-2. Two runs on 4 hits for the Yankees, 2 runs on 2 hits for the Rockies.
And the Rockies playing LeMahieu the other way. The infield shaded more for him to hit the other way. There you see Tovar, the shortstop. He's playing close to second base.
The hitters will always say you try to drive the ball to the right side, but you get 2 strikes, you just battle. Hang in there. Good take on a slider off the plate. Hitters will also tell you they know the matchups day in and day out. Nelly, you face a tough right-hander. You know you're going to have your work cut out for you, but You see in numbers with the pitcher here this afternoon. Check swing. Did he go? And he did. First out here in the second. But this is a matchup that the Yankees are looking forward to this whole weekend.
Well, especially with the four-seam fastball. We've talked about the average again. So over 400 on that four-seamer. And there you go. LeMahieu just thinking going the other way. And he just fooled a little bit on that fastball upstairs and couldn't hold up.
One down to bring up the number 9 hitter Peraza. Oswald 1 for 4 in yesterday's game. Drove in his 9th run of the year. Also made a bunch of outstanding defensive plays at third base.
When you go into a park like this as a hitter, do you know that, hey, I'm taking away a lot of the off-speed stuff from a pitcher and I just have to look dead red because you know it's not going to break like it does everywhere else?
I never felt that way. I just felt like when I stood in the batter's box and I looked out to the outfield, there was so much space. And you recognize that the ball didn't break as much, the curveball, the slider, but it wasn't like you walked up to the plate saying, I know it's not going to be a good pitch. There's a perfect look at all of that real estate out in the outfield. Since 1995, the offensive comparison, batting average just under 300 at Coors Field. Slug is up, on base is up. Volpe led off with a triple, Escara an RBI double. LeMahieu struck out and a 3-2 count to Peraza, fouled off. We'll do it again. Another 3-2 pitch. Ground ball to the left side. McMahon up with it. 2 down.
Just looks like Peraza's pulling off the ball a little bit. Even that fastball away that he fouled off over the Rockies dugout. Maybe opening up a little too much, even on that breaking ball, opening up that front hip. Not able to hit it the other way. Get good wood on it.
2 down, bring up Paul Goldschmidt back to the top of the lineup. He led off the game with a base hit. Big hole on the right side for Goldschmidt. Curveball just misses. You look at the numbers for Zenatella. 8 losses or most in the major leagues. I'm seeing a lot of good swings here. First inning into the second. The numbers. .380 batting average against, highest in the major leagues. And the K percentage the lowest. And a 1-2 to Goldschmidt. Spoils that one.
If you can't get swing and miss in this park, you're going to have a long day.
He's another one of those pitchers who went through Tommy John surgery, making his 11th start of the season. Most starts since 2022. That gets away from Goodman behind the plate. Escara will make his way over to third.
Well, he catch on one knee. He did a nice job of trying to keep that in front of him. Go down as a wild pitch. Well, maybe that breaking ball will be elevated just a little bit more. Afraid to bounce another one.
Popped up. Who's going to make the play? McMahon settling underneath it. And that'll do it for the top of the second inning. But the Yankees add a run, tie it all up. We'll be back to the bottom of the second. It is time for Pinstripe Pride, brought to you by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicle of the New York Yankees. Today's picture is of Sarah, who said she had the pleasure of sitting with Clark Schmidt's dad on Friday here at Coors Field, and he was a wealth of baseball knowledge. Use the hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride and mention yes in pictures you post to social media to reflect your love of the Bronx Bombers. We might spotlight you on a future game. Will Warren back at it, bottom of the second inning. Will be bottom of the order for the Rockies, Moniak, Martini, and Amador.
Talked to
22 pitches in the first.
Mr. Schmidt a little bit at the hotel. He's roaming around.
You did.
Yeah, nice guy. Really nice guy.
A wealth of baseball knowledge,
Yes.
Sarah said.
Military vet. Thanked him for his service.
Very
He
nice.
flew the F-18s.
This Memorial Day weekend, we thank all out there who's checking in with us for their service. I hope everybody's enjoying the holiday weekend. All right, Nelly, what do you need to see here the second inning from Will Warren?
Well, fastball command, and then when you get ahead like this, you got to learn how to finish them off. I think the breaking pitch is playing in his head right now, knowing that, hey, I'm not getting the break, so I really have to command the fastball a little bit more. And you see that the curveball didn't have the depth that he's used to. I think you see more changeups. Threw a couple in that first inning. But you have to set that changeup up with a good four-seam fastball. Maybe some two-seamers away to a lefty.
You know, Nelly, that curveball's become a factor to left-handed hitters. There's that changeup you wanted. Second strikeout, first out here in the second.
And that might be a pitch. You go fastball, changeup.
We're going to look at the Papa John's key ingredients in the strikeouts for Will Warren. 28 over his last 4 starts, including today.
Now the month of May, how about 34 strikeouts and 22 2/3.
Martini first pitch swinging, pops it up to the left side. Volpe takes control and makes the play. A couple of quick outs here for Will Warren in the second.
I mean, that might be an outing here for Warren, that you see a lot of fastball changeup and just a show me pitch, maybe throw in a little curveball or sweeper every now and then. He could get away with a 2-pitch pitcher because they are quality pitches. You throw the four-seamer up, change the eye level a little.
Yeah, over the last 3 games, he's thrown his curveball more to lefties. You wonder with the altitude we've talked about a lot, maybe that won't be as effective today. But last 3 games, left-handed hitters only hitting 180 against Will Warren. First 7 games they were hitting 280, so definitely making some adjustments. .22 pitches in the first inning. Would love to have a low pitch count second to get him settled in. And the 0-2. Broken bat, looping fly ball. Peraza settles underneath it, and an easy 1-2-3 bottom of the second for Will Warren. We're all tied up at 2. Hey fans, suit up this season at MLBshop.com. Check out the largest selection of authentic jerseys, caps, hoodies, t-shirts, and more. Visit MLBshop.com, the official source for your Yankees gear. Top of the third, it's going to be Ben Rice leading off. Aaron Judge followed by Cody Bellinger. Rice 0 for 1, a hard line drive to right field. Rice has slowed down a little bit, now 5 for his last 29 over his last 9 games. Still 8th in the league in the American League in slugging at .523. And there's a little check swing and a wave for the first out here in the 3rd.
Well, you talk about this being a great place to hit. I think maybe being a little too aggressive, wanting to try to cash in on Coors Field. And that was breaking ball down in the dirt. Just couldn't hold up.
Well, that'll bring up Aaron Judge, who had a base hit in the 1st inning down the right field line. Home run number 17 on Friday night. Home run number 18 for the Rockies bullpen yesterday. And already a single in this one. Center field. Doyle settling underneath it. 2 down. Well, congratulations to Cody Bellinger on being voted the Montefiore Einstein Player of the Week. And why not? Last 6 games, .435, 3 home runs, 9 RBIs. The impressive OPS. Bellinger had a great spring, got off to a slow start. He's been a red-hot hitter of late.
Yeah, you mentioned the month of May, 11 extra base hits, 351. You know, with Rice, how tough is that for a youngster as well in the box? I mean, when you start struggling, you know, everybody starts getting pull happy. You know, you want to pull everything on the outside half. You want to get ahead of the breaking ball. It's really tough to try to say, hey, let the ball travel with it.
There's a hot shot to left field. Beck comes up with a nice running play. So another hard hit baseball from Cody Bellinger. Tied up at 2, back to the bottom of the 3rd. The Yankees baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. Learn more at genesis.com. And by Mohegan Sun. Something's always happening at Mohegan. And by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. Cloudy, overcast afternoon here in Denver, Colorado. Hopefully the Yankees will be able to get this one in without any delays. Bottom of the 3rd inning, back to the top of the lineup. Beck, Tovar, and Goodman. Long 1st inning for Warren, a quick 2nd. Back at it here in the 3rd. Take a look at our Farsinga hitter scouting report on Jordan Beck.
Well, last 7, not including that first at bat. 333, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs. He's got a lot of speed, 6 stolen bases. He's tied with Brenton Doyle for the Rocky lead. And he's crushing fastballs. Hit that first pitch fastball off of Warren for a double. He's hitting .315. And slugging .603 against that fastball, that 4-seamer. That's why you look at this Rocky lineup and you're like, how is it this bad? The 9 wins. You know, you look at Beck. They have a pretty decent year. Tovar. Beck's a young player. Goodman, McMahon.
Swing and a miss. Good sweeper off the plate. You know, Nelly, I think it's this guy coming up to the plate that really makes the difference for the Rockies. Missed some time with a hip injury. There's a good sweeper expanding the strike zone. Tovar is a good player. Makes a big difference in their lineup. Now, we watched Will Warren all year kind of get his opportunity in this rotation. He's had some good games early on, had some rough starts early on, but now you look at the numbers over his last 3, a 1.5 ERA. But I also think just listening to him talk to Meredith before the game, there's a sense of confidence that now I've settled in. I know I can pitch at this level.
Well, you can roll with three good outings in a row. I mean, that can give you a lot of confidence. You got to treat each outing, differently. Even though you throw 3 great starts, the strikeouts are starting to come. The swing and misses there, the amount of pitches besides that first inning, that's what you want to try to stay away from, because he was averaging close to about 20 pitches per inning before that outing in Sacramento.
And Jeff, the biggest thing for him is just staying aggressive, having that mindset to stay aggressive from pitch number 1 on the mound. And one thing I've also noticed about him over his last 3 starts, he's handling left-handed batters much better than he did earlier in the season. First 7, 280 batting average. Last 3, 182 against, as he gets another strikeout right there.
Yeah, racks up a couple of strikeouts here in 3rd. Another waving swing from a right-handed Rocky hitter.
Well, the one thing that he's done with those 2 sweepers, he's closed off that front shoulder. When you keep that front shoulder closed long enough, you're going to get that good sweep. Maybe he's picked up something with that. When you start flying open, that's when sometimes you get underneath that breaking ball and it doesn't have that bite, that downward action that you're looking for.
Quickly ahead, 0-2.
You watch that front shoulder stay closed. He's not flying open. And he's driving it to the plate.
Swing and a miss. Will Warren strikes out the side in the 3rd inning. 5 strikeouts already for him. Hey fans, the Gotham Sports app is your home for streaming live Yankees games and so much more. And it's free with an eligible TV provider subscription. Download the Gotham Sports app now or visit GothamSports.com to get streaming. Top of the 4th inning, all tied up at 2. Dominguez, Volpe, and Escara. Jason Dominguez struck out his first at bat to end the 1st inning. We're going to take a look at our Verizon Reliable Performer, and it's all about Jason Dominguez. The Yankees 4 to 8 hitters, 517 batting average, 9 RBI, 7 runs, and 5 extra base hits.
Well, big from him yesterday, like you mentioned earlier, 2 hits from the right side. He was hitting close to 100 from the right side. With that weather coming in, how much do you play this, even though it's in the 4th inning, as almost like a late ball game?
A little small ball.
Yeah.
Manufacture a run. Another swing and a miss. 2nd strikeout of the afternoon for Dominguez.
Curveball. This is the 2nd time that top hand has come off the bat.
Here's Anthony Volpe. First pitch swinging, ground ball to Tovar at short. Easy play for him. 2 down. Two down to bring up J.C. Escara. Escara made this team out of spring training really for his whole body of work, but the way he swung the bat from the left side. But he's gaining a reputation, Nelly, as a guy that the framing metrics are very favorable to on how he receives the baseball.
Yeah, he's done a really nice job behind the plate.
Beautiful swing there, staying inside the ball, driving it the other way. A 2-out base hit for Escara, his 2nd hit of the day.
Another real good at bat. This is a changeup, and watch, he just keeps his hands back. He was out on his front foot, but he was able to keep those hands back and just serve it into left field. That was interesting because the Rockies, they had him playing the pull in that first at-bat when he hit it down the left field line, and they played him more straight up in that at-bat.
And Nelly, a lot of hitters will put together like a highlight tape where they're watching their really good swings. That's one you put on the highlight tape right there. Down and away off the plate, you drive it to left center field. Everything's right on time.
You don't see the big swing.
Two down for LeMahieu. Struck out his first at bat. First pitch swinging, ground ball to Tovar, and that will do it here in the top of the fourth inning. Pretty easy inning for the Rockies right-hander. Well, it's time to take a look at our Coors Light beating the pressure, and we're looking at the Yankee pitchers over their last 10 games, 3 runs allowed or fewer in all 10. That's the longest streak since September 2002. And after the game yesterday, a lot of people talking about Max Fried and his outing, but Meredith, they were talking about his pickoff move more than anything else.
That pickoff move is so impressive. I was talking to Cody Bellinger about it. He was asked how he would describe it. He just smiled and said it is disgusting. Aaron Judge said it's probably the best pickoff move he's ever seen. He talked about when Max was on the Braves and he was an opposing player, he wouldn't even want to leave first base because he knows how quick he could be and how he could get caught. And Cody Bellinger pretty much echoed those sentiments in saying, I never really left first base because I wasn't about to test it. You know how good he is. And Max Fried after the game just said how much pride he takes in being able to control the running game in those situations.
Well, how about what Austin Wells said as well, as far as being a catcher and having a guy on first base, not just a Goldschmidt, you know, having to be really aware, and you almost have to wait for him to throw it home before you go and get out away from first base. And even as a catcher, you don't know when he's going to come home or go to first.
No, but I'm glad you brought up Goldschmidt, because I asked around if he maybe lost that ball in the shirts in the day game yesterday. Another strikeout for Will Warren, now number 6. But I was told that Max Fried cut the ball to Goldschmidt. That's why he wasn't able to come up with it. Well, that was a 6th strikeout for a Yankee. It's brought to you by Audi and the 2025 Audi Q6. Visit your local tri-state Audi dealer today.
A real good changeup. That's 4 in a row from Will Warren.
But Nelly, to your point, in spring training, Paul Goldschmidt actually went into a game and told Max Fried at the end of spring, I need to see your pickoff move because I haven't seen it yet all spring training. That's how good it is that the Yankee first baseman needed to look at it before the game's counted for real.
Well, I think it was Shunk that got picked off yesterday, and he looked at home. He didn't even know he was coming over. That's the funny part. I'm sure Tino Martinez had the same issue with Andy Pettit.
Here's Brenton Doyle with 1 down. Ooh. I think, Nelly, that Doyle was thinking the same way you're thinking. With the weather coming in, maybe one swing at the bat could be the difference in this one.
Yeah, it's a nasty 2-seamer inside. And mechanically, Will Warren has figured something out here in the last couple innings, and especially closing off that shoulder. The first inning, always a tough inning for a starter.
We've talked about his graduation from the beginning of the year till now, and you got to actually give him credit. The first inning looked like this was going to be a struggle. He is now locked in. 4 strikeouts in a row.
Let's see if he goes with that sweeper down and away, where he got those 3 strikeouts.
5 strikeouts in a row. Now strikeout number 7 for Will Warren.
Well, he's got some really good late life, and it's just really hard for the hitters to pick up. He struck out the side in the 3rd, 3 sweepers away, and then he goes with a changeup and now a heater.
Two down for Michael Toglia, switch hitter hitting from the left side. Saw Toglia in yesterday's ball game, had been given 3 days off to work with the hitting instructors and just not worry about in-game at bats, try to get his swing locked in again.
That play from Volpe in the first inning. It's proven to be the difference maker right now, being able to get Tolle at first.
Two-0.
Well, you know Tolle is going to have the green light here, 3-0, if he gets something out over the plate or in.
Fastball misses it off the plate, so a 2-out walk to the Rockies first baseman. .55 pitches for Warren. And here comes Mickey Moniak, 0 for 1. Matt Blake, the pitching coach, looking on. Ground ball to first base. Easy play for Goldschmidt. And an easy 4th inning for Will Warren. We're all tied up. We'll be back for the top of the 5th. All tied up on our Audi scoreboard. Top of the 5th inning. Be 9-1-2. Peraza, Goldschmidt, and Rice. Peraza first pitch swinging. Ground ball to short. Tovar up with it. 1 pitch. 1 out. It's cooking up something special with Hexclad. We're going to look at the Yankee prospect rating down on the farm. Number 8, Brock Selvage, a left-handed pitcher, made his season debut Monday. Number 10, Cam Schlittler, 2.7 ERA with Somerset. And number 30, Jesus Rodriguez, reached base in 31 straight games. Major League Baseball pipeline, the source for that.
Saw Cam a few times in spring training, big league camp. It's a pretty good arm.
Maybe a little rain, but Nelly, the temperature is dropping here in Denver, Colorado. I don't think that's a good sign.
No, I don't think so either. The head ground crew was out talking to the umpires, Andy Fletcher, the crew chief, about what might be coming.
Goldschmidt 1 for 2. .31 fouled off. Goldschmidt career against the Rockies, 159 games, including the postseason, 325 with 30 home runs. Hot shot, and those numbers just get a little bit better. Another base hit for Goldschmidt. Really, he's having a good series here in Colorado.
You can't talk about that swing enough. It's like a 2-strike approach. You see the leg kick. He doesn't have anything. It basically lifts that front heel up and it puts it right back down. That was a fastball upstairs and takes everything right up the middle. Thinks right center to the middle of the field.
Nelly, we just got that shot from the side where you see his front foot get down, and I just had a flashback of the late great Hall of Famer Tony Gwynn, who he talked about it every day during BP. Get your front foot down early. Everything slows down after that, and that's what I thought about when I watched that side view.
Yeah, it just seems like you don't get fooled on the breaking ball or the changeup. You're able to handle the fastball. I mean, watch the heel. It just lifts up. Not a whole lot of stride, and maybe about an inch or two with that front foot.
It looked like he had so much time to recognize the pitch and make a decision, right? You talk Aaron Boone all the time, swing decisions in the strike zone. That's how you give yourself more time to recognize spin and velocity.
A good example, Paul Molitor. Paul Molitor, I don't even think he even took a stride.
Yeah. No, I know what it felt like hitting with not a big stride. I mean, pitching, is it the same thing? Can you get a longer stride as Rice works a walk, where maybe you get out in front of yourself a little bit more?
The one thing with the longer stride you have to wait is you have to be careful with is having that ball flatten out. The longer you stride down the mound, the more or the less you can get on top of the ball. You know, I see a lot of organizations teach the long stride to try to cut down that 60-foot 6-inch mark and get maybe a little bit closer to the plate.
Well, it looks like Warren Schaefer, the manager of the Rockies, going to make a pitching change with Aaron Judge coming up to the plate. First and second, one down here in the fifth. Jake Bird takes over for the Rockies. His 21 games, 1.74 ERA, tied for the most strikeouts among MLB relievers. And we saw Bird in Friday night's victory for the Rockies throw a scoreless inning against the Yankees. Gets Aaron Judge. First pitch slider for a strike.
Yeah, basically sinker slider guy. A lot more sliders than fastballs. The fastball 94 to 95. He'll throw that slider a lot to righties.
And the rain has started to fall here at Coors Field. Hot shot down the third base line. Goldschmidt's going to score easily. Rice around second. Now around third. He will be held up. And Aaron Judge continues his big weekend in Colorado. An RBI double, and the Yankees take a 3-2 lead.
Well, Bird tried to come in with a fastball, and Judge was ready for it. And the Rockies have pitched Judge inside here in this 3-game series a lot more than I've seen other teams do. And he was ready for that fastball in as he smokes it right down the left field line, just past the reach of McMahon. That's a big run, especially with this weather coming in.
Cody Bellinger is going to be intentionally walked. So it will be the bases loaded for Jason Dominguez. One down. The Yankees lead 3-2. Dominguez 0 for 2, couple of strikeouts. Rice off of third. Judge takes his lead off of second. Bellinger now on first. And Dominguez a chance to break this one open. That top hand or the bottom hand coming off the bat. A lot in this game.
Yeah, that last at bat where he struck out a couple times, he pulled that hand off the bat.
The rain is falling. Ground ball. It's going to be a foul ball. Dominguez now behind in the count 1-2. A little rain falling. He's in battle mode, just trying to put something in play. Stay away from the possibility of his third strikeout. Comes the 1-2. That curveball just misses off the plate.
Well, you wonder how long the umpires are going to let this go.
Yeah, it's miserable right now. Rain is picking up in intensity.
Some lightning in the area.
Fly ball center field and deep. Doyle going back. Makes the play, but that's going to be a sacrifice fly and an RBI and a nice piece of hitting from Jason Dominguez as the Yankees add on and now lead 4-2.
Well, he finally got a fastball to hit. That was a really good AB. He laid off some breaking balls away. You watch where this fastball is, and it gave it a ride. There you see Bellinger at first. He's going all the way to second to see maybe he can score if that ball gets off the wall. Nice catch by the center fielder Doyle. Good at bat.
Way to hang in there, Jason Dominguez. That's not easy when you get 2 strikes and it's raining like it is right now. Here's Anthony Volpe. Got a leadoff triple in the second, scored a run.
Well, you can start to see some wet spots in that infield as the rain starts gathering up on that dirt.
You'd love to get 5 and have this be an official game, but boy, it's coming down right now. And the blankets are out. 2-0 pitch to Volpe. That gets away from Goodman behind the plate. Judge moves to third. Bellinger to second. And it is getting sloppy out there now.
Well, you normally don't see. It looked like a cross-up. I mean, that was a 2-seam fastball. You don't get crossed up with the pitch comp. Maybe he got mixed up with what button he pushed. Fastball in there for a strike. Grounds crew ready to go. Another fastball in there for a strike. Aaron Judge with the RBI double. Jason Dominguez a sacrifice fly. 2 runs here in the 5th inning. Yankees looking to add on. And you can see Bird is really struggling now. Yeah, he's not too happy. Can't get a grip on the baseball. It's really tough, and the only way to try to hide it is to have that glove the way he has, so the rain doesn't get on the baseball. I mean, it's a little bit different if it was humid and hot and rainy, then you might get a little bit better grip, but since it's so cold, it's in the low 50s, and that rain coming down, the grip is a little bit tougher to get.
Another 3-2 fouled off. Well, crew chief Andy Fletcher just made the call. Coming down here at Coors Field. Grounds crew will put the tarp on. The Yankees lead 4-2. 2 outs here in the top of the 5th inning. Rain coming down, lightning in the area. It is not an official game, Nelly.
No, it isn't, and not one of those that get canceled anymore. You wind up, if it happens that way, it'll go as a suspended game. It'll just be picked up where it's left off, and maybe if it could be one of those if needed one game. But
we know the Yankees aren't coming back out to Colorado.
That's the one thing about the schedule. Everybody plays each other. A lot of times, if it's outside your division, then you play each other once.
There is a mutual off day this Thursday, but boy, that would go out to Anaheim and then have to come back would not be fun.
And then go back to LA.
Oof.
Well, Aaron Judge with the big hit in that 5th inning, the big double that drove in that go-ahead run.
Well, the Yankees got off to a good start in the 1st inning, scored a run. Rockies came right back with 2 against Will Warren in the bottom of the 1st. Yankees added on in the 2nd. We're able to put 2 on the board here in the 5th inning as Will Warren has settled down. And you wonder what this is going to mean for Will Warren and the rest of his start if we do resume this one.
I think he's, now just assuming that he could be done. I mean, he's a young pitcher. You don't want to risk any injuries. I mean, it's always tough to sit for a long period of time and then go back out.
And you mentioned it, the weather, the temperature has dropped into the low 50s. There are a lot of Yankee fans hanging in there.
Warren 57 pitches on the day. usually I probably like 30 minutes of it, but it's going to be a longer rain delay than that. 30 minutes maybe you could be able to come back out. 45 minutes you might be able to come back out and throw, but anything longer than that, I would doubt. And the Yankees always do a good job of taking care of their pitchers.
Well, we always hate hearing that sad sax music because that means we're in a rain delay. The guys in the studio, Jack and Bob, will take care of you from here on out during the delay.
Well, thunderstorm sweeping through the Denver area right now, so things knocked down at Coors Field with the Yankees leading at 4-2 over the Rockies, 2 outs, top half of the 5th. It's great to have you with us in our Yes Network studio. Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry with you for this rain delay coverage. And so far, Yankees are trying to make it 2 or 3 in this series, getting some nice work from Will Warren after a little bit of a slow start for him.
Yeah, a resurgence for Warren after a tough first inning. And we talked about the conditions in Denver, Bob, and I think Warren was experiencing that in the first inning. You don't know what kind of break you're going to get on your breaking pitches, so obviously that's going to impact his sweeper and his curveball. But after that tough first inning, Warren has taken off. He's retired 12 of his last 13. He has 7 strikeouts in this game. Bob, he had one inning where it was all about his sweeper. Struck out the side, all 3 Ks on sweepers. So whatever adjustment he had to make with that pitch, he made it.
And as Warren tries to get settled in, again, depending on how long this rain delay goes, we'll see whether he's back or not. He allowed the offense to kind of get settled in and get going. Let's take a look at some of the game highlights to see how we got to this point so far in a 4-2 Yankees lead. Top of the first, Cody Bellinger with runners at first and third. And again, Bellinger doing a great job just putting the ball in play here and getting a run.
Putting the ball in play and then hustling for 90 feet, Bob. He makes sure the Rockies don't turn the DP. It's 1-0 Yankees.
This is where Warren had some problems, Jack. Loaded the bases with nobody out, then a wild pitch.
Yeah, changeup that bounces. Escara can't handle it. It doesn't get too far away, but good hustle by Beck, who comes home to tie it up at 1.
And then next batter, Ryan McMahon at the dish. Warren goes with another changeup, grounds it to first. They'll take the out, but Colorado takes the lead. Yankees punch right back, though, top of the second. Volpe triples, and then up comes J.C. Escara.
Nice job by Escara here to take the fastball the other way. We talked about the fact that the Rockies starter, Senzatella, the average on his 4-seam fastball over 400. That tied up the game at 2.
Senzatella exited in the 5th inning with Aaron Judge coming up, runners at first and second, and he makes Jake Bird pay. Bird out of the bullpen, and Judge knocks in a run.
Yeah, a bullet double to left field puts the Yankees ahead. And then you want to talk about tough at-bats for both Bird and Dominguez, but Dominguez hangs in there, and Bob drives this one close to 400 feet with the bases loaded. It's going to end up being a sacrifice fly. The Martian already has a grand slam this month. He'll take the sac fly there. The Yankees will take a 4-2 lead. None of us will take this weather.
Yeah, no, as the tarp comes on the field. And, Jack, the offense, as I said, just getting a chance to kind of get settled in there and continuing to put up good at-bats, taking advantage of Senzatella, who's had a rough season.
Yeah, they scored on him in the first inning and the second inning. He had one clean third inning, but clearly they were getting to him there as well in the 5th inning. And I think we talked about this on the pregame, Bob. It was probably going to be a matter of time in this game. Senzatella just doesn't have the kind of weapons to be able to slow down an offense like the Yankees. You see that the Rockies had to go to their bullpen early, and they go to Bird, a guy who the Yankees saw in Friday's game in the 7th inning. But in the 5th inning against Judge, they didn't want to let Senzatella face him, but Judge makes sure that Bird pays in that spot as well.
All right, we will take our first break here as our rain delay coverage continues. Yankees leading at 4-2 in Denver against the Rockies. Stick around, a lot more coming up. Well, the rain continues to pepper the field in Denver as the Yankees lead right now 4-2 in the top half of the 5th inning. Now, prior to the game, as always, Aaron Boone addressed the media, and one of the topics about getting another offensive weapon back and potentially how soon in Giancarlo Stanton. Let's listen to Boone.
Aaron, I guess Brian Cashman was on the radio and mentioned that Stanton is going to do lives the next 2 weeks and a rehab assignment most likely thereafter. Just how encouraging is that for you?
Yeah, very. I mean, I feel like G's been doing well now for a while, so getting him built up, you know, will be just the next key. So think live at bats on the horizon here, and we'll see where we go from there.
Do you think he'll need a rehab assignment, or will the live at bats be enough?
I don't know. I don't know exactly how it's going to unfold. We'll see.
Were you able to talk to Marcus? How did he come through yesterday?
Good. He sounded like it went well, so he'll have another, I think he has another bullpen on Tuesday, but I think he felt pretty good with it.
And when do you expect Cruz to get off the mound?
I don't know. I don't know that. I know he's throwing again today. Seems like he's doing pretty well.
Aaron, will Giancarlo have a say in whether he goes out on a rehab assignment or not? He says, hey, you know what, I feel I can face big league pitching now, or I'd like to go for 3, 4, 5 games, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he'll certainly be part of that. We'll figure out what's best. I mean, you know, we just want to make sure that, you know, he's kind of game ready when he comes. So obviously that looks a little bit different for him in that he's not playing the field. So, but you still want to get him, you know, built up properly and give him, you know, somewhat of like a spring training simulation. Even though, again, his looks different than most guys.
Jack, posting videos of him hitting in the cage back in New York, you can get the sense that he's antsy to.
Yeah. So he's doing pretty well. I know velo went well yesterday, I guess, and then more velo today, and then hopefully be in line this week for live ABs or rehab, you know, something.
Surprised how quickly that's moving along with him, Aaron?
No. You know, his history suggests, you know, he's done well with injuries and kind of typically healed better than most guys, and just because of the asymptomatic nature pretty early on in the injury, even despite the higher grade, I can't say I'm surprised. I mean, we're probably a few weeks in now, so no, I think this is kind of what we maybe anticipated. When
do you start thinking about the roster implications when Stanton comes back? When do you guys start discussing that?
Yeah, when he comes back.
So Stanton has said that he expects to play in some pain when he comes back. Do you know what he's been feeling lately? Is it toned down quite a bit, or what is?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's been feeling good. So, I'm not quite sure how to answer that. I mean, you know, there may be times in the year where it's sore or whatever. I don't know how to answer that.
So CBA says that a veteran player, 5 years more, doesn't have to go down to the minors for rehab without consent. And that just happened with Marte in Phoenix. He declined to go, and he went right back to the major league.
Marte and who?
Marte and the Diamondbacks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that just happened with them. So, yeah, if you get the consent.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll be part of that conversation. Yeah.
Great performance from Max yesterday. How does Will Warren go about trying to follow that up?
Well, I just want Will to continue down the path he's going. You know, he's made tremendous strides already this year, great progress, he's throwing the ball really well, doing a good job of being on the attack, getting ahead in counts, and as we've seen, weapons to finish guys. So just wanted to continue with that aggressive mindset and hopefully go out and help us get a series win today.
Goldschmidt's still hitting over 500 against lefties. What makes him so, like, what have you seen when he's facing lefties that just makes him such a threat?
I've seen a lot of hits. I don't know. I mean, I feel like he's had a good approach all year, been in a good place, you know, just giving consistent at-bats, you know, really versus right and left, like it. But obviously he's gotten massive results against lefties and been a killer so far. So I don't think he really looks, I think he's just does such a good job of focus on what, you know, today we got sense to tell. What's the approach? What am I thinking? What am I looking for? Keeping it simple like that, and but nothing. I mean, I'm seeing him get a lot of hits against lefties, so that's what I'm seeing.
One of the themes of our pregame show is talking about starting pitching, how good it's been, the role that they've been on, and individually how good Will Warren has been, certainly over his last 3 starts. And Jack, believing in his stuff that he can not only get outs, but get swings and misses, which he has today with 7 strikeouts through 4.
Believing in his stuff, and Bob, when he encounters a hurdle, figuring out a way to get over or around that hurdle. I mentioned on the pregame how Jeff Nelson talked about Fried's ability to auto-correct on the mound. David Cohn always talks about, what are you going to do when you get in a jam? If something isn't working, or if you get to a spot where a certain pitch isn't doing what you need it to do, how are you going to react? We've seen a lot from Will Warren in that respect today. First inning, he gives up a hit on a slider, a sweeper to Tovar. Kind of steered away from that pitch. Didn't really throw it the rest of the first inning. Threw 1 in the second inning. He comes out in the third inning, and suddenly he had the sweeper again. Strikes out all 3 batters using that sweeper. And, Bob, I'm not sure if we'll see Warren again for the rest of this day. He's already thrown 57 pitches. We don't know how long this delay is going to extend. But Will Warren taught himself a couple of things today, learned a couple of lessons about himself, and rebounded very nicely.
All right, we will take another break here as our rain delay coverage continues on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Yankees leading it right now in Denver 4-2 with 2 outs in the top half of the 5th. We are back on Yes and the Gotham Sports app as our rain delay in Colorado continues. Yankees leading the Rockies 4-2 with 2 outs in the top of the 5th as they look to get out of town with a win and a series win as well. Good to have you back once again, Bob and Jack, with you. Managers like to have good problems to have. One, Jack, we know would be too many good starting pitchers. That's a problem that Aaron Boone has had at times. He also is dealing with a lot of quality outfielders that he has to find spots for strategically. Today, for example, the odd man out, Trent Grisham. But again, you've got Bellinger, Dominguez, Judge, all guys who have been performing and are in the lineup today.
Yeah, and I think Boone has done a really good job of figuring out who's going to get a day off on any given day, or maybe Judge is going to get a DH day, and you're going to see someone like Bellinger in the outfield. But it is a good problem to have because you want as many contributors as possible. I thought heading into the season with Jason Dominguez, you wanted him to play as often as possible. Give him those reps. When Volpe was a rookie, Bob, they said to Volpe, you're not going up and down to AAA. We're going to let you conquer your slumps at the major league level. And I think that helped Volpe out. We have seen Dominguez rested at times. Why? Because Grisham, who you mentioned earlier, he's got an OPS of almost 900. And even though he's 4 for his last 31, Grisham has really been a renaissance for the Yankees offensively. He's got 12 homers already. Career high is 17, so he's forced his way into more at-bats.
And to your point about Dominguez getting enough at-bats to show some consistency over his last 12 games, a .286 hitter, 4 homers, 11 runs batted in. Let's take a look at a feature on all 4 of the Yankees' quality outfielders.
The Bronx Bombers are flexing.
The Yankees are doing everything.
Bronx Bombers are back, hottest ticket in town.
Cody Bellinger comes through again.
There it goes! See ya! A long home run for Bellinger.
Oh, he's great. He's a proven major leaguer. He can go up there and change the game with 1 at bat.
High drive, right field. Tatis back, looking up. See ya! Second deck. High drive. Right field, Meisner back, track, wall, see ya! It's his 200th career home run.
Seeing him grow over the past couple seasons has been fun to watch. He's an elite outfielder. You know, he's a guy that's won MVP in 2019. He's a guy that can carry a team, you know, on his back when he needs to.
Going back, Bellinger, still back on the track. He makes the play over his shoulder. Bellinger is a plus defender wherever you put him. Line to right field, on the run is Bellinger. He dives and makes the play.
I want to be really good out there. I want to be able to showcase what I can do.
Long run for Bellinger, and he holds it in on the warning track. Bellinger slides, and he makes the play.
I care about, you know, showing up to the field and doing everything I can. So, you know, wherever he needs me, I'll be ready to roll.
We always talk about that next man up mentality. Grisham certainly has that.
He's a competitor. He's always ready. He's always prepared.
See ya, he's done it again. Red hot Trent Grisham.
Man, this guy is unbelievable.
I think he's had a great look to him, trying to get him in there where I can because, I mean, this is what he's capable of.
High drive, right field. Tatis back. Turning, looking, see ya. A pinch hit. 2-run home run for Grisham.
I just try to treat it like I'm starting every day.
It makes it a lot easier that way for me. It's what I've been used to over my career. So once you get between the lines, it's basically the same. So it's just about that preparation and staying ready.
Grisham hits it pretty deep into center field. J-Rod back, and he can't make the catch. It goes over the wall. Cracks it again, high and deep center field. Way up and out of here for Trent Grisham. Second home run of the night.
Fly ball, center field. Grisham makes the play.
Great player, a great athlete, can play so many different positions. I believe won some Gold Gloves, a very smart ball player, and can do so many different things well.
On the run is Grisham, and he makes the play. Going back, Grisham, and he makes the play.
Grisham, you know what? He just gets out of bed and can play center field. He makes things look very easy.
Here's the Martian, driven deep to right field off the bat of Dominguez. There it goes. See ya. The Martian's done it again.
Boy, he has power. He can run. He can do a lot of things on the field. He's just not affected by great results or a struggling day. Goes to work and likes playing the game with his teammates.
This one by Dominguez sent high in the air. That's deep to right field. It is gone. And that's gone. Dominguez with his second home runs. Jason Dominguez absolutely switched on in Sacramento. Grand slam for the Martian. The third home run of the night.
He's infectious. You know, you watch him. Really, really talented young player. You know, can drive the ball from both sides of the plate. Super athletic. Sky's the limit for a young player like JD.
Deep to right field. There it goes. Ball game. A walk-off home run for Jason Dominguez.
Well, the walk-offs bring back the little kid in you, Michael, and that was an absolute missile out to right field.
Here is Aaron Judge. See ya! 3 home runs for Aaron Judge.
With Aaron, you got to put a ceiling on what's possible with what he can do. It's that part of me that takes him for granted a little bit. Kind of say it out loud just to try and remind myself.
He's done it again. See ya!
Another day, another home run for Aaron Judge.
Running is Judge, and he makes the diving catch.
I'm an outfielder, so I don't care where they play me, center field, right. It doesn't matter where they put me. I just want to help us field the best team.
Oh, what a play by Aaron Judge!
What a catch by the captain!
Aaron Judge not only does it with the bat, but he does it with his arm as well.
Aaron Judge is in the middle and the prime of a Hall of Fame career.
And he makes the play! Oh, what a play by Judge!
Aaron Judge has as good an arm as anyone in baseball.
Back on the track as Judge leaps up against the wall and makes the catch! Oh, what a play by Judge!
Judge showing off the arm.
Aaron Judge is, in my mind, the best player that has stepped onto this field in a long time.
Well, Judge is all-world, all-MVP again this season. As he's at .399 right now. A couple hits today. Hit his 18th home run yesterday. Grisham has the 12 home runs. Cody Bellinger with 8 home runs. He certainly has been clicking lately. He's just coming off that 15-game hitting streak. And then Jason Dominguez, mentioned him, 4 of his 6 home runs over the last 12 games. And just a couple of things about that feature stood out to me. First of all, let's start with Bellinger. Brought in because of his all-around qualities. But I'm not going to talk about the offense. I'm going to talk about the defense and the fact that he makes it look effortless, and he does it at all 3 outfield positions.
Yeah, when you get a good jump on the ball, you can make it look effortless, and that's one of the things I've noticed about Bellinger's ability to play the outfield, Bob. He's tall, he's athletic. He gets good jumps on the baseball, so sometimes you'll see a baseball hit into the gap or over his head, and you'll wonder, is he going to get that? And then by the time the ball lands in his glove, you're saying, well, he got that kind of easily. Sometimes the acrobatic catches or the catches that make highlight reels are the ones because the outfielder got a poor jump on it. Bellinger is instinctive and is excellent at getting jumps on the baseball.
Now, we also saw in that piece that Trent Grisham is usually lauded for his defense. He has a Gold Glove as well. But this year it's about the not only the offense, Jack, but the way he said in that piece, the way he's prepared. He's preparing as a starter, which was a little bit of a different mentality, correct me if I'm wrong, than last year, because last year he was getting limited at bats.
I don't want to speak for Grisham, but I do think that last year caught him by surprise a little bit. He got traded over from the Padres in the Soto deal. His previous 3 seasons with the Padres, he had over 500 plate appearances every year. There was not 500 plate appearances for him last year with the Yankees. It was in the 200 plate appearance range. So I do think you have to adjust to being more of a bench player. I spoke to him in spring training, and when I brought up the fact that Boone said he was going to play him more this year. Grisham said, I have to be ready regardless of how much playing time I get. So I think you're right, Bob. I think it was a mentality change. And then a few times early in the season, he talked about the mental side of the game. You can take all the swings. You can catch all the fly balls. You can prepare to hit and do all that. That's the physical side. I think he wanted to make sure he was prepared mentally as well.
As for Jason Dominguez in his rookie season, we're starting to see the better right-handed at-bats, but we're also seeing more of a comfort level in left field. And not only at Yankee Stadium, but he's tracked down a couple balls here in Denver, and it just looks like he's, I guess in your rookie season, you just got to learn every ballpark you're playing in, right?
There's so much noise around Dominguez when he mishandled some fly balls in spring training. I'm going to go back to our old buddy, Buck Showalter, a four-time manager of the year. I was talking to him this spring about Dominguez, and he said, you can't judge any major league outfielder on what happens in spring training. He talked about the differences in the ballparks, how they don't have the third deck, the sun and the wind. Everything is different. He said, let's let him get into the major league season and see what he does. And I think he's looked very comfortable, Bob. I think for a young hitter, his plate discipline is excellent. And then this has flown under the radar, what he has done in the month of May. In the month of May, he's had a 3-homer game. He's had a grand slam. He's had a game where he had homers from both sides of the plate, and he's had a walk-off home run. He is the only player in Major League history to do all of those things in 1 month.
And we're kind of throwing those only player. We put that label on Aaron Judge a lot. Or he's ranked alongside Maris, Gehrig, Ruth, etc. In your well-worn thesaurus, what number synonym are you on for great when you attach it to Aaron Judge?
Could I say 400? Because since he's challenging to hit 400 this season, and we've talked about how amazing that is for a player of his size, for a player who provides so much power as he does. And he's so humble about it, Bob. He never wants to talk about his own accomplishments. But every show that we do, we're putting up the major league leaders. And Judge is leading in so many categories that he's well on his way to winning a third MVP. But he's a perfectionist. So whenever anyone asks him, are you locked in? Do you feel perfect at the plate? He'll always say no. But he looks perfect right up until his last at-bat against Bird. Bird tried to come inside with a fastball. Yankees had the potential to take the lead in the game. He bullets a shot down the left field line. The Yankees got a lead.
All right, we got to take a break. The Yankees lead it right now, 4-2 in the 5th inning as the rain delay at Coors Field continues. Stick around, a lot more to come. We are back on Yes at the Gotham Sports app. No movement on the field in Colorado right now as the rain continues to fall. They're experiencing a thunderstorm sweeping through. We'll keep you updated on what's happening, but you can see at the bottom of your screen, Yankees do lead the Rockies 4-2 with 2 outs at the top half of the 5th inning. Now, among the guys getting after it again this game, like he has all series, Paul Goldschmidt, 2 for 3 today, jacking a couple runs scored. So it's not lost in the glare of Aaron Judge hitting 400 because Goldschmidt is better than that. He's hitting 349 after those 2 hits. He's been everything they'd hoped and probably more.
Hits the ball to all fields. He comes in with a plan. He's not afraid to hit with 2 strikes. He's terrific with runners in scoring position. Everything about this signing has worked out well for the Yankees, Bob, including the little things that you have to look at really closely when you're studying a baseball player. This is a modest stat. 4 stolen bases and 4 attempts for Goldschmidt this season. But he also is safe in 46 of his last 48 attempts, going back 4 or 5 seasons. That's a guy who studies the game, studies pitchers, is watching for an advantage, is looking for an edge. In spring training, I asked him about his base running prowess. I dictated a couple stats to him about his success. So first of all, he said thanks, which I think that happens rarely when a player thanks you for just reciting their stats. He said it goes back to Eric Young Sr., one of his former coaches who took him inside a video room and said, I want to talk to you about running the bases and stealing bases. This will help you have a longer career. Well, Goldschmidt's potentially on his way to the Hall of Fame, and base running has just been a part of that. And
he, like Aaron Judge, we say, how can he fix things on the margins and get even better year to year, at bat to at bat? He did that last year. He had a poor first half. He had a better second half, recognized what needed to change, and he brought that into this season.
Yeah, and one of the things that needed to change is something that he talked about in his first Yankee press conference. He felt he was falling behind too often in counts. Suddenly it would be 0-2, 1-2, and he wasn't dictating the at-bat. and he's always been a good two-strike hitter. So that was something that he thought was problematic last year. It has not been this year. He's been a very good hitter, whether he falls behind 0-1, 1-2, and you just see how professional he is up there. You heard Jeff Nelson and John Flaherty talking about it during today's broadcast. Almost has a two-strike approach throughout the entire at-bat.
Well, let's get a little more on Paul Goldschmidt, who, again, is having a terrific first season with the Yanks.
Goldschmidt swings at the first pitch. Track, wall, see ya! There's a leadoff hitter, 1-0 Yanks.
Paul Goldschmidt, played against him for a long time. You know, he's a true pro, and he's a very good baseball player.
First time he's led off a game in his long career. He led it off with a home run, too. Really got things going early.
Yeah, I think he's potentially a future Hall of Famer. I mean, this guy's been a dominant player in our league for a long time.
A beautiful backhand scoop by Goldschmidt.
A great two-way player, runs the bases incredibly well. I think he's going to be a key cog in our lineup this year.
Goldschmidt puts a swing and charge into this one. Got a home run for Paul Goldschmidt.
You look at Goldie's career and what he's been able to do in this game, it's so impressive. He's a professional player. He's going to give you a professional at bat.
It's a great way to drive in a run. Pulls his hands in and just pushes it the other way.
He's going to help your entire team. I mean, he's going to help us offensively and defensively and help get us to where we want to be.
A long home run for Goldschmidt.
Goldie is locked in, jacked, and amazing to learn from.
Nice play by Volpe. Throw to first. Oh, they got him. A beautiful scoop on the glove hand side by Goldschmidt.
I've just always tried to remain open and knowing that I need to get better every year, and I think that's been great. For me, it's just trying to find that balance, knowing what works for me, but also adapting. The game has changed a lot. So many coaches and also different tools out there that have really helped me improve and adapt, and we'll just continue to do that for as long as I can play.
This guy fits the New York Yankees. He goes about his business like a pro, obviously has plenty of power. I love the way he drives the ball to right field. I think Yankee Stadium is going to be a nice place for him to hit.
You know, the back of the baseball card for him doesn't lie, and the human being that he is and the reputation he's created for himself around the league is phenomenal. So really looking forward to him, and I think it's going to really help us.
Grounded and through for a base hit. Judge scores. Hits an RBI single for Goldschmidt.
I think even just putting on the Yankees uniform is a huge honor. There's been so many great players and great teams, and to get this opportunity is great. I think the goal is obviously to show up and play hard and prepare and try to win and just carry on this tradition. I feel like there's such high expectations with this organization. That's really exciting. It's what I wanted. It's what the guys in the clubhouse want.
Popped up, shallow right. Oh, what a play by Goldschmidt.
We want to do it at the highest level and live up to the expectations that were set before us.
He's got no business catching that ball.
Paul Goldschmidt living up to expectations in 52 games this season, a .349 hitter, 17 extra base hits, 27 runs batted in, an OPS of near 900, and he's third in the majors in terms of batting average behind just Judge and Freddie Freeman. And I loved hearing Flash today breaking down his two-strike approach. You talked about it a little bit, just kind of simplifies, gets the foot down quickly, and usually when he's doing that, he's thinking the whole field, and the result is usually center to right center.
Yeah, I talked to Tino Martinez about Goldschmidt during spring training, one Yankee first baseman to another Yankee first baseman, and he talked about that approach too, Bob, about Goldschmidt's not afraid to wait on the ball a little bit. He's not afraid to hit with two strikes, so he can go the other way. He can hit the baseball to all fields. In fact, Tino said he was a coach with the Marlins, and Goldschmidt was still finding his way in the major leagues. And one day, Goldschmidt smashed 2 home runs against the Marlins, and Tino looked once, looked twice, and said, who is this guy? I got to pay closer attention to this guy. The Yankees have paid very close attention to what Goldschmidt has done. We knew he came over here with the 4 gold gloves, Bob. I've been impressed by his defense, his agility, his athleticism. That highlight package that we just showed, that ball that he caught over his shoulder, that's as good as a play as you'll see a first baseman make. And the other thing is, he's not afraid of separating from the bag. There are some first basemen who are so tied to the base that they could make an error by not just getting off the bag. Sometimes you're not going to get the out. And I've noticed how adept Goldschmidt is at that.
By the way, speaking of defense, you talked about doing the little things and doing them right. Do you remember that play, I want to say it was about 2 weeks ago, may have been in Sacramento, where it was a ground ball to him, contact play, and the runner was going from third? Yeah. And he ran right at the runner and drew him back. Now, some first basemen might just throw the ball to third and airmail it. He didn't do that. He did the play beautifully. Again, that would be a play that Buck Showalter would love to break down.
Well, first of all, I'm glad you asked about a play where I had a rare night off. So I was worried that I might not remember it, but I do remember that play because of the fundamental quality of it. And you're right, Bob. He did everything by the book. A lot of first basemen, they get the ball, they just want to get rid of it. I'm not going to mention any names, but I know from talking to managers and coaches over the years, there are some teams where you want their first baseman to have to throw the baseball. You want the ball to be in play because it's a hot potato for that first baseman. He doesn't want to have anything to do with it. With Goldschmidt, you are absolutely right. He ran at the runner. That was a textbook play, and you're right. I'm sure somewhere Buck was smiling.
Remember that other night you weren't working when there was a no-hitter pitched? Yeah. That too, right?
I rushed in. I rushed my way in.
All right, we got to take a quick break. More rain delay coverage coming up here as we continue on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Yanks leading at 4-2 in the 5th, and we're on hold. Rain continues to fall in Denver. Tarp remains on the field. John Flaherty and Jeff Nelson on hold. I'm thinking Jack Flash probably sipping on a nice hot cup of coffee right now. About time for tea for you, no?
I would absolutely be going with the tea. I'm not sure what Nellie's hot beverage of choice is.
He might be having some coffee. Maybe a cold brew, potentially. For Jeff, you know Morakovic's probably going high-octane cold brew. So let's talk about the Yankees bullpen. We will see the bullpen involved in today's game in some way, shape, or form. They've got to try and complete it. Last 10 games, an ERA of 1.57, covering 34 1/3 innings, an opponent average of just 208 against, just 3 home runs allowed. And the bullpen, it's been great over the last 10 in terms of locking stuff down. And we're probably going to see the bullpen at this point now, right? We're about 50 minutes into this rain delay, so you're kind of thinking that that might be it for Warren, and they'll go to the pen when
looks like
play resumes.
Warren hasn't thrown a pitch since about 4:30. There's a chance that he has been staying loose underneath, Bob, because he was at 57 pitches. But I do think that the time is evaporating with which they would bring Warren back. They've got a very rested bullpen. He's a young pitcher, and he's very important to them. So this delay is probably going to knock Warren out of the potential of getting a win in this game.
Yanks are up by 2 right now. Don't know which way it's going to break, if that lead will increase. But close games, we're probably going to see a couple guys who haven't pitched in a couple days. Luke Weaver, Devin Williams, Mark Leiter Jr., all available.
Loaisiga as well. And you look at that back end of the bullpen, and bullpens develop and evolve as the season wears on. When the Yankees acquired Devin Williams, he was going to be the lockdown closer. From 21 to 24, he was as good as anyone in Major League Baseball in terms of closing games, and he struggled. The Yankees are fortunate they have Luke Weaver sitting right there, ready to go. He replaced Holmes last September as the closer. He replaced Williams, has done an amazing job, has only allowed 1 earned run all season. Meanwhile, Williams has rebounded in the role of pitching in the 7th or the 8th inning. His last 11 outings, Bob, batters hitting under 100.
Meantime, Ian Hamilton has been valuable in a variety of spots in that bullpen. Today on the BP Show, we are to feature on Hamilton. Let's take a look at that.
Strike 3. Big strikeout for Hamilton.
Swing and a miss. He got him.
What a performance by Hamilton. Comes out of the bullpen and gets 8 out.
Obviously, 23, he was kind of an unknown and came in and really established himself and had an awesome year for us. And then last year, some ups and downs just with the injuries. And hopefully he can have good health this year, because we know when he's healthy, he's a guy that we're going to rely on heavily in that bullpen.
We obviously have a couple people who are definitely set in the roles, but whoever you are, you just got to be ready to throw and take each inning like it's either the first or the ninth and just assume that you're going to close that out and then give the ball to the next guy.
Swing and a miss, got him. Big strikeout for Hamilton.
Swing and a miss. Got him.
What an impressive inning by Ian Hamilton.
Hamilton is tough. He's going to go out there and he's a dogfight guy.
Fastball right down the middle, strike 3.
Every time I see him, I flinch. He's as jacked as one could be. I would put him up against the best athlete on the team.
Big strikeout for Hamilton.
If you're in the pen, you better just be ready to throw at any time. It's a good old school vibe down there, you know, and you want to win, and especially when we surround ourselves with people who have that mindset. Whatever you're going to do for that person next to you, and hopefully they're in that same mindset where they want to do the same. So everyone's hungry, and we want to eat.
Hamilton's pitch, swing and a miss. There's strike 3.
Swing and a miss, got him. So Hamilton comes in and does the job.
He's a force to be reckoned with. I think he should be on a football field, but he throws 100 and has the craziest splains, changeup, slider that you've ever seen.
Hamilton throws hard, and then also features that Slombio.
You can see the changeup grip there, that Slombio.
Swing and a miss. Looked like the Slombio. 3 straight strikeouts for Hamilton.
Like to use it when I got a good feel for it, and just a little different pressure and the hand placement, I guess, but it's just a pretty standard grip for what it is, and I just put a little pressure in a different spot and it goes the other way. As long as they keep saying go back out there or they want me on the team, I don't care what they call it.
Huge for us when he gets out there and he can get some swing and miss, both right and left, runs the sinker in on the righties, force him up above the lefties, but really leans onto that Slombio, which is a changeup grip that throws like a slider.
3-2. It is in there, called strike 3. That's the ball game.
Coming here and seeing the people who have come here, they just kind of let them do what they brought them here to do, rather than reinventing the wheel with the stuff. So they kind of just let you play your game, and then if something comes up, like, they'll work on it. But they want you to succeed. They want you to be a pro about how you go about everything. And once you put the pinstripes on, you see how everyone goes about everything, and it seems like everyone's just getting ready for the same day over and over again. You got people who are just consistent and are in good routines, and being here, you want to win. You can see it, you can feel it, and you can hear it. It's a different vibe being over here, and it's definitely something I'm grateful for.
Hamilton finished up for Max Fried in last night's ball game, an inning and 2/3, allowed a couple hits, 3 strikeouts. Tarp coming off the field, not sure if that's a drain situation or Tarp coming off the field for good situation, but we'll get a little update on the backside of this break. Stick around with us here on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. So the Tarp remains off the field. In left field, you see a little bit of Lake Denver dissipating in shallow left field. We'll get you an update. Nothing official about if and when they're going to restart this game. In the meantime, I want to bring you another feature. Luke Weaver could factor into this game at some point. Recently, he hosted a clinic in collaboration with Just in Time Baseball to teach some skills to kids of all ages.
The camps are cool, especially during the season. You know, you try to get out every once in a while. The schedule gets pretty busy, but anytime you can get back to the younger generation, I mean, I'm walking around now and I'm just thinking about the time when I was a kid and all the cool stuff that I could have learned, and maybe just looked at somebody that I appreciated in the game, and it comes full circle. So it's just about giving back at this point and just being grateful for the opportunity and the stage that I have, and it's just simple to come out and spend some quality time.
The whole idea of this clinic today with Luke Weaver, who was phenomenal, by the way, absolutely spectacular. He was so involved with the kids. He was engaged. He was truly amazing. It was really to show what's possible for these kids. They see a Major League All-Star, is going to be an All-Star, Major League All-Star pitcher, closer for the New York Yankees, right there next to them. It was just an amazing experience for the kids.
I think in the game, you know, a lot of times you can overthink what you're trying to do. I think in the bullpens, you get into a rhythm, the pressure's off, you're just like relaxed, you're just hitting your spots. I think what you got to do is either one, treat your bullpens more like your game, not necessarily like throw harder, but just get your mental focus, or, you know, if you don't like that, then you got to be able to put in your preparation to make you, when you get into the game, you're not thinking about anything else except compete. And the questions they're hard hitting sometimes they're easy. The life questions are always a little tough because it's hard to think back at their age on what I was thinking and doing. But no, it's cool to hear questions. It's cool to hear interest. And, if you're not asking enough questions and you're not wanting to learn enough, I believe. And so just soak in as much as you can. And, you try to learn from people that are doing something that you maybe want to do and pursue in the future.
Why did you become a...
Oh, that's a deep one. That's a deep question. I think around your age, maybe a little younger, just found a passion for baseball. Thought it was a pretty cool sport. Played a few different sports, but this one stuck out the most. And, as you grow up, you'll learn to see what you like. Basically, you're just going to take the top here or the bottom. And some guys will spike it. Some guys will hold it with 2. I think it depends on, your hand size. But I think the easiest way is to get it. And all you're trying to do, instead of getting behind the ball like a fastball, you're trying to make sure you can turn your wrist and get over top of the base. You know what I'm saying? I think recognizing the impact of showing up is definitely been noticeable. I see the shirts, I see the excitement, I see the faces, the questions. It doesn't truly have the type of impact because I don't look at myself in a way where, I'm walking into a building and all eyes are on me. Like, I try to think about just being a normal guy who plays baseball for a living, who has the ability to go do that every day. And so when I leave and I kind of reflect on these type of days and these moments, kind of when it hits me later on. But when I'm in the moment, I just try to, be present and make sure that I'm giving my best self and my quality time to these kids.
Those kids getting a treat hanging with Luke Weaver at that event. This is what he and Devin Williams have done. They have switched roles, and Williams has sort of got back to his old self from Milwaukee. And, Jack, we talked about this the other day. We'll talk about Weaver in a second. But for Williams, he admitted he was a slow first-month guy with Milwaukee, and then things just got great, and he's kind of getting to that point right now with the Yanks.
Yeah, and it's been about command. It's about making sure you can throw that fastball for strikes and locate it, because your changeup is not going to be as vicious or as effective if you don't show to batters that you can come in and throw fastballs. And Devin Williams has a really good fastball. He'll throw his fastball in the upper 90s. So I think he has righted himself. What's interesting, Bob, I was out at the stadium last week, and Aaron Boone was asked, is there a point where you will flip-flop Williams and Weaver again? Williams has been pitching well. Does he essentially win his job back? And Boone said, we'll see. I don't think there's any reason to make a change right now. At the beginning of the season, when Williams was struggling, I advocated leaving him in that closer spot, letting him try and figure it out. But now with what Weaver has done, this guy's going to the All-Star game. Yeah. There's no reason to touch the back end of your bullpen right now.
So you caught that in the Weaver feature, right? Justin from Just in Time Baseball saying these kids get to talk to an All-Star closer, and that's what he's going to be doing.
I'm going to say that Justin Sherman's been listening to you and I know Justin actually does a really good job with that program, and he's right. It looks as if Weaver is headed to the All-Star game. And, Bob, I thought that was a really cool feature because of what Justin said about the kids being able to have someone like Luke Weaver in their midst, talk to them, ask some questions. But there was one moment where, I don't have a baseball right here, but Weaver was showing one of the young men a grip on a pitch, and that kid was so locked in on everything that Weaver was saying and every part of that grip. You know, the second that Weaver walked away, that kid had a baseball, and he's been working on that grip ever since.
By the way, how many teams in the majors, honestly, Jack, can say this, that you don't think you're going to have to remove your closer from the role? But then the Yankees say, well, that's okay, because we got Luke Weaver here, and he did it at the end of last season. Into the playoffs, we're okay, we'll be fine, just popping Weaver in there.
They're very fortunate. It's a luxury for Aaron Boone and the entire Yankee organization. They took a flyer on Weaver back in 23. They gave him a few starts at the end of the season. They like what they saw. They got him to work on his fastball, more ride on the fastball, more drop on the changeup. And suddenly that tunneling effect of both of those pitches, you're creating a wider gap of batters trying to figure out exactly what you're doing. So Luke Weaver is absolutely a luxury. He's someone that the Yankees would love to have a long-term relationship with, I would think. He has been so good, and he has been so economical as well, both as a pitcher and in what he cost them on their payroll.
We did see the tarp off in left field. We saw Aaron Boone out there, Warren Schaefer, the manager of the Rockies, some of the coaches and umpires. And as we take a look behind it, looks like Are they putting the tarp back on? It's hard to tell, but there was some concern, Jack, as they looked around the third base area. You see the sheen on the infield dirt.
Yeah, we're trying to read body language.
Actually, it looks like they might be pulling it. Anyway.
We're trying to read body language, and it definitely looked as if there was some discussion about the playing surface, obviously. What's going on with the playing surface? How much water... We're seeing it right now. This is a great shot. How much water in and around the third base and the shortstop area. And you mentioned it earlier, Bob. Shallow left field definitely took a big hit because some of that water came off the tarp. So it
would be under where the tarp is right now. So they're probably not that concerned about it if that's what they're doing. And looks like they're about to roll up the tarp.
Oh, they're wrapping it up. They're rolling up the tarp. That's a good sign for the eventuality of more baseball.
All right, so the Yankees lead it right now 4-2. They'll be batting when play resumes in the top half of the fifth inning. And just sort of a theme before we take another break is the at-bats that they were putting together in that inning were very good ones, certainly with Judge facing the reliever Bird and coming up with that base hit to give the Yanks a lead.
Yeah, Judge just presents so many challenges for pitchers, Bob. We talk about it all the time. He doesn't stray out of the strike zone. Now, everyone's human. Every once in a while, Judge will chase something off the plate, but he very rarely does that. And if he gets a strike in an at-bat, he's going to do some damage with it, and that's what he did with that RBI double.
All right, we're going to take a break. Our rain delay coverage continues. Take a look around the majors and more. Tarek Skubal today, tossing a gem for the Tigers. We'll detail that and a lot more coming up next. Meredith Marakovitz chiming in from Denver. Game set to resume at 4:15 Mountain Time. So that would be in about 30 minutes, 33 minutes, 32 minutes and 50 seconds, Jack, if you're actually keeping tabs. Are you, by the way?
I'm keeping very close tabs. We want to let the viewers know exactly when action will resume, and it's nice to see that tarp going back in the corner, Bob.
Yes, sir. John Flaherty and Jeff Nelson on standby. I texted Flash, no coffee at all. That's it. Nothing for this whole rain delay. Would have thought he would have.
Wow. I would have been guzzling it. Guzzling tea.
Yep. Yeah. What's your tea of choice again? Is it Earl Grey?
I'm an English breakfast kind of guy, Bob.
I always forget that. I always say Earl Grey, don't I? Just makes sense. Anyway. Hey, you want to do some highlights?
I do. Let's do it.
Let's tee you up for some highlights. Tarek Skubal today pitching for the Tigers. And, Jack, he had a historic game. Perfecto through 5, but it was this kind of day. He was dialing up the Ks.
Yeah, we're going to see strikeout after strikeout. Those two were in the first inning. Go to the fourth. How about a changeup to get Martinez? And how about Arias? That's a high fastball. You got no chance.
Yeah, absolutely no chance. Again, perfect through 5. As you see another strikeout. Then top of the 6th, Will Wilson leading off. Sends one to the right center field gap, and it'll drop. So that breaks up the perfect game. But then Skubal bounces right back against the very next batter, striking out Austin Hedges with a changeup. So as much as he has the power game, a little changeup just baffles hitters. Top of the 7th, he just keeps clicking, and he was on his way to a complete game gem, Jack.
Yeah, you watch him over and over. Fastball, changeup. He is going to get his 11th strikeout right there in the top of the 8th. We go to the 9th. He is moving. He is getting a complete game. He is doing it on 94 pitches. Struck out 13. Bob, that last pitch, 102.6 miles per hour. You talk about a guy not losing any steam. That's the hardest pitch he's ever thrown in his career.
Unreal. No walks, by the way. He does not walk anybody. He just fills up the zone, challenges hitters. Here's my stuff, hit it. And they just don't. And now he's in that Cy Young conversation again when he probably wasn't through the first 3 or 4 starts of the season.
Yeah, he's elite. The Yankees have seen him already this season, and you watch him go out there with that kind of stuff on this kind of day, Bob, and you do wonder how batters ever do barrel anything up against this guy. Of course, getting that kind of complete game and doing it in less than 100 pitches. In baseball parlance, that was always known as a Maddox because Greg Maddox was so efficient, and he was able to do those kinds of things to be able to get a complete game with under 100 pitches.
Wow, amazing. All right, we got some other highlights for you on this Sunday afternoon. The Blue Jays taking on the Rays, and bottom of the first, scoreless game until Brandon Lau crushes one off Chris Bassett. 2-run shot, his 10th of the season. Rays lead it 2-0. They'd add another in the 5th.
Yeah, it's Caminero facing Bassett with runners on the corners. He lines one to right field for a base hit. 1 run scores on the RBI double, 3-0 Rays.
Next batter, Jonathan Aranda, grounds one to second. Lau breaking for home, and he slides in safely, just beats the tag, makes it 4-0. And then a few batters later, still with nobody out, former Yank Ben Rortvedt.
Yeah, Rortvedt takes this sweeper out to right field, and it's going to drop in for a base hit. Simpson scores. Walls scores. Rays are rolling 8-0.
And later in that inning, Paxton Schultz now pitching, facing Yandy Diaz. And Diaz will sky one out to right. What happens here with George Springer? Just loses track. Fighting the sun, can't make the play. Ball bounces over the wall for a ground rule double, and another run scores. A 7-run 5th inning for the Rays. And they go on to win that one 13-0 over Toronto. The Blue Jays 2 games under 500, so the Rays leapfrogging them in the standings. Check out the Orioles and the Red Sox. Top of the 5th, Dylan Carlson facing Walker Buehler, and Carlson takes a fastball just inside the pesky pole. His first homer of the season makes it 2-0 Orioles. They'd add another in the 6th.
Yeah, Ryan O'Hearn at the plate. Fordham product. Greg Weissert is in to pitch right now. And O'Hearn takes him into the bullpen. Solo homer. His 8th of the season. Rams are not smiling. It's 3-0 Orioles.
All hail Fordham, however. Top of the 8th, runner on first. Nobody out. O'Hearn comes back in the batter's box, takes a Zach Kelly change up into the gap in right center. The throw comes in. It's bouncing all over the place. Another run scores. The Red Sox committing 2 errors on this play, Jack. And the Orioles able to take advantage and win it 5-1.
Yeah, Keystone Cops there at the end, as in what has been a down season for the Orioles. You see the record right there, 18-34. They get this W today.
And finally, let's check out the Royals and the Twins. In bottom of the first, Ty France going to single to center here, brings home a run. He has tormented the Royals in his career. 28 runs batted in 34 games. Vive la France. 1-0 Twins. Still 1-0 in the top of the 7th, but the Royals are going to tie it up.
Yeah, it's Fermin against Ober. Smacks a base hit into left center field. It was a 2-out, 2-strike count. Waters comes home. Game is tied at 1.
They end up having free baseball. Top of the 10th, Michael Garcia with the designated runner at second and 2 outs. Base hit to left. Nick Lofton gets in just ahead of Willie Castro's throw. Garcia takes a second on the go-ahead hit. It's 2-1 KC. Twins trying to tie it in their half.
Yeah, second and third for Taylor Clark on the mound. He gets Brooks Lee to ground out to Bobby Witt Jr. And the Royals hang on and grab a 2-1 win in 10 innings.
All right, so 2.5 hours for that one and a final in 10. Meantime, we saw the Red Sox and Orioles going at it, the Blue Jays and Twins. It's a 5.5 game right now lead for the Yankees in the division. And Yankees just looking, as they've said, and thinking about it today as we're getting ready to resume play here at 6:15, just trying to win another series and add another win to the win column.
You've heard Aaron Boone use the phrase a lot, stacking wins, just trying to win series and just trying to continue to play at a high level. And the Yankees have done that. Coming in to this series, they had won 11 of 14, so they're 1-1 in this series. So they've now won 12 of their last 16. Beat the teams that you're supposed to beat. That is what is happening today in Colorado. The Yankees looking to finish off this win. But when I evaluate the Yankees against the rest of the AL East, I know we've still got 2/3 of the season left. Bob, the Yankees are the best team in the AL East. They have been the best team for the first third of the season. There's nothing that I see on the horizon that leads me to believe that anyone in that division should leapfrog them into first place.
Do you know what I see on the horizon? Here's what I see. What do you got there, Jason?
Oh, yeah. It's about time. We got
All right. We're getting to that point of rain delay coverage.
Yes.
Jack's Packs. We're going to take a break with play resuming here in about 25 minutes. Going to rip open some packs of baseball cards and see what we got. See if Jack can spin a yarn or two about some of the players in the packs.
Hello again, everyone. Jack Curry here. Welcome to another edition of Jack's Packs. I've got baseball cards in front of me. That means I'm happy and I'm excited. And I'm going to open up a pack of these cards. And within that pack, I'm going to find a player and tell you a story from that player's career. So we're going to get started. We're getting off to a good start in this pack. We've got Dwight Gooden in a Mets uniform, Dr. K. Eric King of the White Sox. We've got Alan Mills. He pitched for the Yankees. Omar Vizquel, slick fielding shortstop in a Mariners uniform. We've got Derek May. We've got Tim Leary, who also pitched for the Yankees. We've got Tim Cruz. This is Tim in a Dodgers uniform. He later died tragically in a boating accident in spring training. Steve Avery. There's John Kruk with the Philadelphia Phillies. We've got Bob Welch, Jose Uribe, Robin Yount, a Hall of Famer. We've got Tino Martinez in a Seattle Mariners uniform, Norm Charlton, and Doug Jones. I'm going back to Tino Martinez, and though he's wearing a Seattle Mariners uniform here, I'm going to talk about him when he came to the Yankees. Traded to the Yankees before the '96 season. He was just part of the Mariners team that knocked the Yankees out of the playoffs in '95. What a deal that Gene Michael was able to make in acquiring both Martinez and Nelson from the Seattle Mariners. And the story about Tino actually comes from something his brother told me. Tino was so fanatical about hitting as a teenager that the Martinez family home in Tampa had a chain link fence around it. Tino would take the batting tee and a bucket of baseballs, and he would hit baseballs into that fence every day. His brother, Rennie, told me that Tino did that so much and so often that one day Tino hit a baseball through the chain link fence. His full first name was Constantino, so his nickname to some was the Bam Tino. And if you hit a baseball through a fence, I think you are the Bam Tino.
It's a great story from a taped edition of Jack's Packs. We have the live version. Couple things about that taped edition, though. First of all, the Tino story, I'm glad you got his brother Rennie's rendition of that, because when you asked Tino about that, he wasn't really having it, right?
Tino did not want to go too deep into the fact that he hit a baseball through the fence. He basically said, well, that was my preparation for getting through the season, just hitting the baseball off a tee, just hitting the baseball off a tee. I found out throughout my reporting career, Bob, a lot of times if you can get the mom, the dad, the brother, the sister, the high school coach, the college coach, they'll fill in some of the gaps that maybe the player just doesn't want to fill in.
You're like, Tino, you hit it through a chain link fence. And he's like, so? You're like, okay, I wanted more than that.
That was a big deal.
The other thing, too, was that shirt you were wearing. I'm assuming that has seen some Caribbean sunshine in some way, shape, or form.
You would assume correctly. That shirt has made the trip to St. Kitts. And if you watch if you watch Jack's Packs closely, you're going to see that shirt a lot, Bob, because we opened a lot of packs that day.
On a future edition of there it is. Jack's Packs. Yeah, that's a little bit of an eye test, like a kind of a Rorschach thing, or you got something going on there.
Yeah,
Jackson Pollock.
I'm surprised that we're analyzing the shirt as much as we are.
It's a rain delay coverage.
I don't have much more to say about it other than the polka dots help me hide the microphone a little bit.
That makes sense. All right, so we do have some packs. What are we looking at here?
I'm going to go 1990. I first started covering Major League Baseball in 1990.
Did you say you have 91 somewhere?
Yeah, we got 91 in here.
All right.
I feel like I'm on Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and Steve Martin and John Candy are taking out the little snacks and stuff that they're going through. There's a 91 for you. See what we got.
By the way, we had Dave Valley in last week. Somebody, I think when you were doing one of the packs, right? Didn't you pull it like a Dave Valley?
I did.
Yeah.
How about
we had him sign it and gave it to Jeff Quagliata.
Barry Bonds, right out of the box.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's pretty cool. 7 MVPs. I actually was in San Francisco when he surpassed Hank Aaron for the all-time home run record. So,
how about me right out of the gate? Cal Ripken Jr.
Wow.
Hall of Famer.
We're off to a strong start.
Do you remember, by the way, that era, how must-see TV, not only like McGuire, Sosa, the home run chase was, Bonds, etc., but when he was coming up on Lou Gehrig's all-time games played list, that was like every game, every at-bat, they were following the Orioles.
Yeah, it was a huge deal. It was one of those records that people had talked about. Would anybody ever surpass Lou Gehrig's 2130? And Cal Ripken did. Showed up for work every day, played every day, And when you think of all the games you and I have covered, Bob, or the players who maybe just weren't feeling right that day, you'll hear guys out of the lineup with an upset stomach. Cal Ripken, if he had an upset stomach, it didn't matter. He kept playing.
Yep. Candy Maldonado, Willie Frazier, Pat Borders. If any of these names are clicking with you, let me know. Pat Combs, Pedro Munoz.
I got one here, Pascual Perez. So this has him in an Expos uniform, but I mentioned that my reporting career with the Times covering baseball started in 90. In 91, I took over as the Yankee beat writer. But the first time I was sent to Yankee Stadium to cover a game by myself, so there's no other writers. You're out there, you're writing the game story, do your best. Well, Bob, I needed a computer piece, so I went from New Jersey to West 43rd Street, where the Times headquarters location was, double parked, thought I could run upstairs, get this computer piece, and then come right back down and go to Yankee Stadium. You know where this is going. My car got towed. So then I've got to get to the ballpark and say, well, I wasn't going to mess around with the subway. I took a cab because I wanted to make sure I was going to be there on time. And then after I watched Pascual Perez pitch very well for the Yankees that night and get a win, I had to go and pick up my car, pay $190 to get my car back. So that's what I remember about that game.
Not surprised you remember the exact amount of the impound fee as well. So it's funny, I mentioned Dave Valley. I come up with a Dave Valley card. So that's my second Dave Valley card.
We have to text him.
We should, yeah.
Text him that clip.
He was great when we had him here for that rain delay coverage that we had. Remember that?
Yeah, good stories.
Stories about, who was it, Chris Bosio, right?
Yeah, he knows how to tell a story. He really does.
Let's see. Oh, this has got some kind of little cool, remember getting these? That little funky
Yeah, I hated that. I got one of these too, whatever it is.
Yeah.
The MVP it says on it. I don't love that. All right, I'm going for another pack. I'm digging into another one.
Larry Sheets, Craig Lefferts, Hubie Brooks, and Alejandro Pena. Anything jumping out at you there?
No, I got Gary Sheffield.
Oh, that's a good one.
Gary Sheffield as a member of the Brewers. So here's a story I have on Gary Sheffield. When he was with the Yankees, I was able to acquire a copy of the Little League World Series game that he played in for Tampa. Now, anyone who's watching this might think, well, how hard was that? They show a million Little League games. Not back when he was in Little League. I had to beg, borrow, and steal to get it, and ABC didn't even play the entire game. They showed about 4 or 5 innings of it. I wanted to talk to Chef about playing in that game, so I had to broker a deal with him. I said, if you sit down with me, watch this Little League World Series game, and talk to me about all of your memories, when the game is over, you can have the tape. And by the way, it was a video cassette. It wasn't anything that you could just stream or pass along. I had to hand it to him. He said, deal. So I was still at the Times then, rented a ballroom in Minnesota where the Yankees were staying. Gary Sheffield and I watched the game. And it's interesting, Bob, he had accomplished a ton at that point in his career. But the memories and the disappointment of not winning that game. They lost by 1 run. It was to the far east. It was either 3-2 or 2-1. And Sheffield was on base late in the game. I believe he was on third. And he was dancing down the third base line. And guess what position he played? I'm gonna throw a curveball at you. Where do you think he played?
I'm trying to remember. I think he was he a catcher?
He was their catcher. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Derek Bell was also on that team, and so you had a couple of major league players on that team. And it was so worth it for me to pay whatever the rental fee was, the ballroom, and to get that tape because he told great stories.
You were like his version of Blockbuster. You brought the videotape. Be kind, rewind. By the
Here
way,
it is.
you get one of those tapes.
I don't need it anymore.
By the way, have you ever seen? I'm trying to think of somebody else in the majors with that fierce of a swing as Sheffield.
Every time you think of people hitting the baseball hard, Stanton, O'Neill Cruz actually hit 123 miles an hour today, which is the hardest a baseball's ever been hit in StatCast. I feel as if Gary Sheffield is sitting somewhere saying, yeah, been there, done that. Because, the vicious swing, and when he made contact, he didn't want to be a third baseman.
And here's the other thing about him, too. You talk to a lot of hitters who try and remain very still, right? That's their thing, or maybe just a little of this. The whole violent, how do you go from doing that to doing what he did? That's one of a kind.
You know, his son is playing college baseball right now. And I'm going to have Jeff Quagliata, our research director, help me out with this. It's a school in Florida. I forget which school it is, and I forget the young man's name. But the point of the story is that Sheffield's son is playing, Bob, and he's got that exact swing. He's got the exact bat waggle like his dad. If you went to watch the game and someone said, hey, do you know which one is Sheffield's kid? You would know exactly which one it is.
All right. Noah Sheffield, Florida State. That's what we're hearing.
There we go. I
Thank
said
you.
It was in Florida, so there we go. Excellent job by our research. How about this? I got Ricky Henderson, Bob.
That's a good one. I know you got Ricky stories.
I have a Ricky story that has been told to me, but I'm going to share it anyway. I'm a kid growing up in Jersey City. I'm following everything about baseball. And Ricky Henderson played minor league baseball in Jersey City. I would open up the Jersey Journal and look at the box scores, and here's this guy Henderson, 3 for 4, 2 runs scored, 4 stolen bases, 4 for 5, 4 runs scored, 5 stolen bases. Years later, I got to know a gentleman by the name of Jim Haig. He was a sports writer, but at that point in time, he was the PR director for the Jersey City Indians. He also was the official scorer. The guy had to do everything. So there was one game where he called an error on a ball that Ricky Henderson had hit in the infield. There were no, this was an old minor league stadium, Bob, Roosevelt Stadium. It wasn't as if you could just pick up a cell phone or even pick up a phone in the dugout. The only phone was way down the left field line where the manager's office was. So Jim Haig is sitting in the press box, and in the next inning, the phone rings, and it's a voice that he recognizes and says, hey, Jim, you got to give me a hit. You got to give me a hit on that. Ricky Henderson had retreated from the dugout all the way to left field to get the only phone that would reach the press box to beg for a hit. Haig thought it was great. He told Howard Bryant the story, and Howard had included it in his great book on Ricky Henderson. But I think it's a window into who Ricky was. Yeah. Listen, man, that was a hit. Give me a hit. I want my stats. I want my numbers. I want my stolen bases, my runs, my hits. Give me a hit.
And, I mean, his career resume and obviously the Hall of Fame career, you take a look at it, 25 major league seasons, almost 2,300 hits, 1,406 stolen bases. Those are both the most in major leagues. What did I say, runs? I said hits. 2,295 runs. He won the American League MVP as a member of the A's. He won a World Series with the A's and with the Blue Jays. And you just think of the sheer speed that he had and how he kind of redefined the leadoff spot for his generation.
I interviewed Tony La Russa about the time that Ricky Henderson was getting into the Hall of Fame. And, Bob, to your point, he said it so perfectly about how Ricky Henderson's impact on games and how much of a feared player he was by the opposition. Yes, a power hitter can come up and hit a home run and change the game, but Ricky Henderson would get inside the heads of pitchers, catchers, pitching coaches, managers. So it was so obvious that Ricky was someone who would go out there and he was going to figure out a way to beat you. The time that I interviewed Tony La Russa, I was going to see Ricky Henderson at a press conference the next day. After they get inducted into the Hall of Fame, there's a press conference in New York. And La Russa told me that Ricky Henderson had always said to Tony La Russa, you don't win a '98 World Series without me. I got you that World Series. Without me, you're not getting that World Series. And Tony La Russa would never give him the time of day to say, ah, you're absolutely right. He told me, he consented to say, tell him he got me the World Series. So as Ricky's press conference was ending, I wanted to find the right opportunity to say, hey, I want to pass along a message from Tony La Russa. And Ricky didn't miss a beat. He was almost dancing away from me like he was taking a lead off first base, and he goes, yeah, I know that. He didn't have to tell me that. It was so perfect for who Ricky was.
No doubt. All right, so I've got Paul Molitor, who actually, as this is with this is with Milwaukee. Remember his batting stance, sort of the wide stance? There was no movement. It was just the swing.
Simple. I'm not even sure he lifted. If he lifted his foot, well, he had to lift his foot. But if he lifted his foot, Bob, it was up and down in a split second. And Molitor, I always appreciated how hard he played the game, how simple he made it offensively. And going back to the Hall of Fame, I was at the Hall of Fame induction ceremony when Molitor was inducted. And you see now David Ortiz has gotten in, Edgar Martinez has gotten in. Molitor got about a third of his hits at the DH position. Yeah. And back then it was still a bit of a debate. And there are still some people who don't automatically vote for a DH, but it's a position in baseball. I've always felt that that's a farce if you're saying, I'm not going to vote for that guy. He was only a DH. It's a position in baseball, but Molitor notched a lot of his hits from the DH spot.
By the way, that era, I think you remember this. You grew up on the East Coast. I grew up on the West Coast. That era with Robin Yount, Paul Molitor with Milwaukee. Remember This Week in Baseball on Saturday morning? So they'd have the plays of the week, and there was always a Molitor play, Robin Yount diving for a ball, something like that. That's where I learned the appreciation of players like that I wouldn't normally see growing up outside Los Angeles. You'd see those players. You'd see a Fred Lynn at the time with Boston, who later played with the Angels, diving for a ball, running into a wall. That was just a great era of baseball.
For some reason, whenever I would think of Molitor and Yount, baseball-wise, I always thought of Stockton and Malone, NBA-wise. Yeah. I'm not really sure why, but I just thought of those two players always collaborating and always being aligned with each other. We see 21 seasons. He was a champ with the Blue Jays in '93. 3,300 hits. Bob, I don't have his card, but since you mentioned Robin Yount, can I throw a Robin Yount wild card story in there?
Yeah.
Covering a series in Milwaukee, staying at a hotel, right across from the hotel, there was a tavern. So after the game, a few of us said, let's go have, we wrote our stories, let's go have a drink. And it was quiet. There wasn't a lot of activity, but there was just one fellow in the bar who was being a little loud and a little noisy, maybe disrespectful to the staff. All of a sudden, a skirmish breaks out on the other side, and we're staying away from it. It's 200 feet away from where we are. And all of a sudden, you see one guy pulling people out and breaking up the fight. It was Robin Yount. Robin Yount was breaking up the fight at this bar in Milwaukee, and then after he broke it up and two sides separated and peace returned, he went back to just having whatever he was having at that moment.
Robin, great to be right on the spot there. All right, that's the latest live edition of Jack's Packs. We're getting ready for baseball here in about 7 minutes as we'll get you back to Denver. More rain delay coverage coming up right after this. We got the upbeat music, too, because guess who's coming back? Baseball with the Yankees leading 4-2 in the fifth.
And Loizaga looks like he's coming back.
Final field prep underway as we get set to resume in Colorado with the Yankees leading 4-2, 2 outs in the top half of the fifth inning. They'll be batting when play resumes. Meantime, over the last hour and a half, Jack and I have been talking a lot about Will Warren and the job that he did today. Got off to a little bit of a slow start, Jack. It was a 22-pitch first inning, but he was able to limit some damage and then get on a roll.
Yeah, he gets Doyle right here swinging with the fastball. Next inning, Moniak, he uses the changeup. He didn't throw the sweeper a lot in the first 2 innings, Bob, and then in the third inning, he rediscovered it. Beck swings over it. Tovar at the plate. He had a single on the sweeper in the first. He swings and misses at it there. And then Goodman, he swings at air. So 3 strikeouts, all on the sweeper. Bottom of the fourth, McMahon, 0-2 count. He gets him to swing over the changeup. Doyle steps to the plate again. He can't catch up with the four-seamer. Warren continues to impress. He got through that rough first inning and was dialed in after that. He retired 12 of the last 13 batters he faced.
So today he threw 4 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs allowed. He struck out 7 again, so he's racking up strikeouts. And Jack, you mentioned that he was able to figure some things out. And I feel like start by start, not only do we learn more about him, but he probably learns a little something about himself, about how to be a better pitcher.
Right, you and I have never thrown a slider or a sweeper in a major league game, but there had to be something that Warren did between the second and the third inning and getting a feel for that pitch, and whether it was talking to pitching coach Matt Blake or Escara or doing something about where he released the ball. He just felt a lot more comfortable, looked like a complete pitcher. It's unfortunate for him that the rain is taking away the opportunity for him to get a win.
So the Yankees leading at 4-2 in their half, top of the fifth inning. They've got a couple runners on. They've got Anthony Volpe at the plate. And back behind the microphone, John Flaherty and Jeff Nelson with a call. Jack and I will see you on the postgame show. Guys, back to you.
Well, thank you very much, Bob and Jack, and great job keeping us entertained for a lengthy rain delay, but we are going to get back at it, as the guys mentioned in the studio. Yankees lead 4-2. It's going to be a new pitcher for the Colorado Rockies, Jimmy Hergert. 3.75 ERA, 6 runs allowed in his last 4 games. A guy for the Rockies who can give them multiple innings. But for the Yankees, Aaron Judge will be taking his lead off of third base. Cody Bellinger will be at second, and Anthony Volpe is going to continue his long at bat before this game got delayed. Nelly.
Yeah, Hergert, he's got a 4 or 5 pitch mix. He can start as well. He can give, like you mentioned, give you length. He's got the sinker, the slider, the curveball. And also the changeup, 92 to 93, so not overpowering. Good ERA, though, for the Rockies. And I was listening to Jack about Will Warren's slider and where he found it. You know, first inning's always tough, but I felt like he closed off a little bit, kept that front shoulder closed, maybe got on top of the slider a little bit more than in those first couple innings.
Disappointing for him, Warren, that this game had the long rain delay, so it looks like it's going to be Jonathan Loaisiga for the Yankees, Jimmy Herget for the Rockies, and Anthony Volpe steps back in the box. As you can see, it is a full count, 3-2 count, 2 outs. Yankees leading 4-2, top of the 5th inning, and we will get back to baseball here at Coors Field. And the 3-2 from Herget, that's fouled off. Not an easy situation for everybody involved here. Long rain delay. Anthony Volpe walks back there with a 3-2 count. Herget came right at him. An hour and 46-minute rain delay at Coors Field. Hopefully that'll be it for the rest of the afternoon. And the 3-2.
Yeah, it's always tough. I mean, you really don't know how to occupy your time. You go in the clubhouse, you're thinking, okay, you know, when it starts getting to be later than an hour, you're like, okay, is this thing going to get canceled? And you almost shut down as a player.
Mentally, right? Yeah. I'm sure Anthony Volpe got some swings in the cage getting ready for this at bat. Other 3-2 looped into right center field. Doyle underneath it, and that will do it for the top of the 5th inning. But the Yankees take a lead 4-2 as we move to the bottom half of the 5th. Well, let's check out our T-Mobile coverage cam, and Anthony Volpe was at the plate in the top of the 5th inning when it just started coming down, and the crew chief Andy Fletcher makes the call to the grounds crew. Let's get the tarp out on the field. Then there was a lengthy conversation between managers to see when this one would resume. You give the grounds crew a lot of credit here in Colorado. Did a lot of work on that infield, trying to get it in playing shape, and we are back at it after an hour and 46-minute rain delay.
And they probably could have put the tarp on a little bit earlier than what they did. It was coming down.
So Will Warren, his afternoon is done after 4 innings, 7 strikeouts, had a tough first inning, but really settled down. Now it's going to be Jonathan Loaisiga.
When they took that tarp off, right behind shortstop at third base, it was like a small lake out there.
Well, you see the numbers for Loaisiga. He threw his last appearance on Wednesday, his first bumpy game after 2 really easy ones. Activated off the IL. And Aaron Boone's going to try to piece it together the rest of the way with his bullpen. Martini, Amador, and Beck here in the bottom of the 5th. Yankees 4 runs on 7 hits. Rockies 2 runs on 2 hits. Martini 0 for 1, a fly ball on the 2nd. Loaisiga 3 games back, 2 2/3 innings, couple of hits, couple of strikeouts, and he's shown that good power sinker. He pours that one in for a strike.
Real good fastball, changeup, slider. You know, when he's struggled, it's mainly with mechanics, and a lot of it is that hand in the glove when he starts drifting to the plate. He doesn't get it out in time. You know, usually when you lift that leg at the high point of your windup is when you should start breaking your hands. A lot of times with the Loaisiga, you watch him hit that ball still stays in his glove as that leg starts going down and he's drifting.
3-2 from Loaisiga, ground ball. Volpe comes up with it, slips a little bit, gathers and gets the first out. We'll take a look at our bullpen budget, which is brought to you by Citizens. Make sense of your money with Citizens. Well, in yesterday's game, Max Fried going so deep, Ian Hamilton was able to get some good work. 5 outs, 23 pitches. The rest of the bullpen in good shape.
Yeah, you got your main guys ready to go, and Williams and Leiter Jr. to get it to Weaver.
With one down, will bring up Amador, second baseman for the Rockies, 0 for 1. Squares the bunt, pulls it back. Little jam shot to LeMahieu. He's going to be able to make the play. 2 quick outs for Loizaga. Well, after it rained here, the wind picked up a little bit. It's gotten a little chilly. The only reason I bring that up, Nelly, I was thinking about Loizaga, where Aaron Boone said, you know what, it's 48 degrees. I got to give him plenty of time to get ready. Coming off the IL with an injury, you want to make sure that he's properly prepared to get into this game. And I'm sure he had plenty of time in the bullpen.
Yeah, what did it start at? Like 58 degrees? Drop 10, yeah, absolutely. And he doesn't wear sleeves.
Well, there's the top of the lineup, Jordan Beck. Beck 1 for 2, a double, and first scored a run. That's off the end of the bat. Goldschmidt there. Loizaga covering first, and an easy 1-2-3 inning for Loizaga with a lot of soft contact.
Bob Lorenz with your Audi update. Mariners Astros tied at 3 in the 9th. Christian Walker just shaved his mustache off to try and get out of a slump. Mustache off. Game winner on. It's a walk-off 2-run homer for Walker. Astros win the rubber game of this series 5-3. They pull within a game and a half of Seattle in the American League West. Flash, back to you.
Thank you very much, Bob. We're going to take a look around the majors. Ronald Acuna Jr., he's back. 2 home runs in his first 2 games. Tarek Skubal, well, he's 5-2 with a 2.49 and 92 strikeouts. And the Yankees going to get a look at Taylor Ward, who is swinging the bat out in Anaheim the next 3 games. And our Montefiore Einstein scoreboard, the Yankees lead 4-2, top of the 6th. It'll be Escara, LeMahieu, and Peraza. And J.C. Escara already having a good game. 2 for 2, double and an RBI, base hit the other way. And batting average now at 233.
Ronald Acuna Jr., the very first pitch he saw after coming back off the IL, he hit for a homer.
How about our Bob Lorenz in the studio? Jack Curry, Bob Lorenz.
Almost 2 hours.
They take it up from cover almost 2 hours, and then Bob's got to do the 5th inning cut-in.
Well, he didn't have to go downstairs. He could just stay up there.
The hardest working man in the studio. Appreciate it, Bob. 1-2 on Escara, up and away. As Nelly said, Hergert, he doesn't throw hard, about 92, 93, but there's a lot of arms, legs, and a lot of off-speed pitches. Trying to give the Rockies a couple of innings.
It's going to be a good battle for the AL Cy Young. You throw Max Fried, Skubal today, 9 shutout innings. Didn't walk a hitter, 13 strikeouts. Last year's American League Cy Young Award winner.
(3-2) from Herget. Swing and a miss at a slider down and in.
It's a nasty slider. He comes from the 3/4 angle, and that's just a heat seeker down on that back leg of Escara.
One down to bring up DJ LeMahieu, 0 for 2. Well, Nelly, in this game of high velocity coming out of bullpens, you watch her get, and the way he goes about his business, just deceptive delivery, trying to change speeds and hit corners like he does right there down and away with a slider.
Yeah, three-quarter angle. He's got good sink on the two-seamer, and it's not overpowering, so he's going to have to move it around. There you see that little three-quarter angle short arm. Really, he doesn't really get extended when that hand comes out of the glove. Little tight slider.
And the count to LeMahieu, 1-2. That slider misses off the plate.
You can hear him grunt every once in a while. You intimidate him. How's that when somebody's making a lot of noise on the mound and you're facing him or catching him?
And it never gets there. It just slides and sweeps away. But reminds me of a young Nelly here with his delivery. Curveball at 74 gets LeMahieu way out in front. And I only say that because you threw across your body like he does.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a little bit more deceptive. There's a slider down and away. They called it a curveball. It looks like it's more of a slider down, that late break.
There's a number 9 hitter, Peraza. A couple of ground balls, 0 for 2.
You know, most pitchers throw across their body anyway, at least a little bit. You know, the ones that open up a lot and you can see the ball a little bit better. That pitch is nasty. His curveball or slider. Looks like the same pitch to me, but it's pretty nasty.
And the 0-2. That misses up and away. Just foul tipped. Goodman not able to hold on. Another ground ball to the left side for Peraza. McMahon up with it, and an easy 1-2-3 inning for the Colorado Rocky right-hander. Yankees lead 4-2. Be back for the bottom of the 6th. It is time for Name That Yankee, which is brought to you by Prevagen, made for your brain. 273 batting average, 1,588 hits, 563 RBIs. Couple of years with the Yankees, couple of years serving our country. 46 to 56, and then 57 to 96 as an announcer for the Yankees on the mic. We'll have that answer for you a little later on. Loaiza back out for another inning of work. Ezequiel Tovar leading off here at the bottom of the 6th inning, takes a first pitch heater for a strike. And the 0-2 from Loaiza. He's fouled off the end of the bat.
That's a good idea. You can really expand the zone on Tovar when you get ahead of him. Having Loaiza back in this bullpen really extends the length. Another setup guy going along with Williams and Leiter Jr.
Nelly, you love the 5th inning for Loaiza. All that soft contact and easy ground ball to short. Tovar gets caught looking at that sinker first out here in the 6th, but 3 soft contact plays in the 5th inning. Now the first strikeout for Loaiza here in the 6th.
Yeah, Tovar probably looking for that slider again. He gets a fastball at 96 on the outside corner. Good pitch.
He Talked about Escara behind the plate, how well the metrics favor him receiving the baseball. Good catch there. Leiter Jr. getting loose in the pen. After a rough outing his last time out, Loaisiga looks like he's on top of his game here in Colorado. Hunter Goodman 0 for 1, a walk in the first. .25 pitches for Loaisiga on Wednesday. Some time off and back at it here Sunday. Right in front of the plate. Easy play for Escara, and again soft contact against Loaisiga.
Well, he's well rested. Those 3 days off allow you to get your mind right. Rest that arm. Be able to give you 2 innings here. 2 crucial innings.
Here's Ryan McMahon with 2 down, 0 for 2, a ground out, a strikeout, and an RBI. Line drive to left field. That's going to be a 2-out base hit for McMahon, third baseman for the Rockies.
Well, fastball, he just brought his hands in and punched it the other way. With the temperatures dropping, it's not going to feel too good if you get the ball off the end of the bat, if you get a jam shot.
Here's Brenton Doyle, who's struck out a couple of times already. In this one, Yankees trying to win the 3rd game of the series, take the series, and take it on out to Anaheim. Face the Angels for 3, a day off, and then the Dodgers next weekend.
That was nasty right there. That movement, that 2-seamer. Wow.
And the 1-1. A check swing. He did not go. First base umpire Jensen Visconti. Hot shot left field, hit well. Dominguez, that's going to be over his head. McMahon around second, coming around third. He's going to be waved home. And that's going to be an RBI double with 2 outs for Brenton Doyle. And the Yankees lead by 1, 4-3.
Dominguez has made some good plays out and left, and there you see the route. He goes across center field, and then he has to shoot back instead of taking that angle straight out to the wall, and he may have had it. And once he sees that getting over his head, he had to hurry up and go left and get back to the wall. Misplayed that one.
Well, Aaron Boone's going to make a pitching change. Loaisiga got 5 outs. Mark Leiter Jr. is going to try to come at the finish the 6th inning. Yankees baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Untuckit. Find the perfect fit today at untuckit.com or more than 80 stores worldwide. And by Nissan. At Nissan, we make cars that thrill. Experience the thrill for yourself today. Shop nissanusa.com. And by Bigelow, the official hot tea of the New York Yankees. A lot of Yankee fans. Coors Field for the weekend, an announced crowd of 38,379. A lot of them still hanging in there as Mark Leiter Jr. takes over for Jonathan Loaisiga. He'll face a switch hitting Michael Toglia. 2 down in the 6th. Toglia 0 for 1, walked in the 4th. Yankees lead 4-3. Yankees 7 hits, Rockies 4. This will be the 24th game for Mark Leiter Jr. 2.61 ERA. 35.5 strikeout rate is 8th among American League relievers. And behind in the count, 2-0. Swing and a miss at a big curveball.
Yeah, good pitch. Fastball count, 71 miles an hour. He's got a good fastball to split. And Toglia was way in front of that one.
Swing and a miss at a split.
Well, he's obviously not seeing the off speed. That was a good split down and away.
To get tempted here, Nelly. It was curveball split to try to sneak a fastball by him. Probably go with the split again.
Yeah, I'm saying split away again.
There it is. Gets away from Mascara. Doyle will move on to third base. See, both catchers have a little trouble with balls in the dirt today.
Well, it's got to be pretty tough when you're catching on one knee, and anything that gets in the dirt and bounces to one side to try to get over there and get in front of it.
Well, now as a catcher, you know, if you call that split again, it's your responsibility to get in front of it. Save that run at third. 3-2, went with the split again and missed. So first and third, 2 down for the Rockies.
Well, that's where you want the split. I mean, you don't want a 60-footer, but you want it and you aim at the top of the plate to try to keep it down below and almost like a little knuckle action down at the knees.
2 down, bring up Mickey Moniak, 0 for 2. We saw Ascara going through the first and third defenses. Toglia a mild threat to run at first, 2 stolen bases. Yankees scored 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 2 in the fifth for their 4 runs. The Rockies 2 in the first and 1 here in the sixth. And the 1-1 from Leiter. And that fastball just missed down. Leiter digs in to get that split finger grip, goes into his glove. Right back to Leiter Jr. Easy play for him. So the Rockies threaten. Leiter able to work his way out of the bottom of the sixth, but the Rockies had 1. Yankees lead 4-3. It is time for our Audi Electric Moment. Experience a fully electric Audi vehicle at your local tri-state Audi dealer today.
Well, Will Warren started to get a better feel of that sweeper. This was in the 3rd inning where he struck out the side. Nasty, kept that shoulder closed. There was a changeup that he got a strikeout on. That was the 5th one in a row with a heater upstairs. Well, he went 4 innings because of the rain, but you look at the 7 punch-outs. Outstanding job, and giving up only 2 runs in that 1st inning after loading the bases with nobody out. That was a great job.
Top of the 7th, back to the top of the order. Paul Goldschmidt leading off. I'm just thinking about Will Warren. His outing gets cut short, but now he's already probably looking forward to the Los Angeles Dodgers over the weekend. Chavez Ravine. Ground ball to short. Tovar up with it. 1 down. And every starting pitcher, Nelly, after a start would say, okay, what did I like? What did I did not? What do I need to work on to get ready for the next one?
Well, I mean, you look at what he did in the first inning, and it's always an adjustment in the first inning, getting used to the game mound. This is the first time that he pitched in Colorado. I mean, he faced the Rockies before, but that was in Yankee Stadium last year. So you're getting used to the elements. You don't know how your breaking ball is going to break, and you know, maybe sometimes mechanically you get a little off, and I think mechanically he was off in that first inning, especially trying to find that breaking ball. And the one thing that you're impressed by, he has swing and miss stuff. There's no doubt. He's cut down the walks. And he did walk 2, and this is a place you really don't want to give the free passes away.
Ben Rice.
He just keep rolling. You know, starts off. I mean, those last 3 have been outstanding. Even today, you know, he was probably looking at another double-digit strikeout game. He had 7 in 4 innings.
That's pulled foul. You know, Aaron Boone has talked about Carlos Rodon and his year and how he's gotten into such a good routine from the day or the night he starts, the 4 days in between, getting ready for the next one. And I'm sure a guy like Will Warren, when you watch veteran pitchers like Rodon, Fried, how do they do their work in between outings to get ready for the next one? Ben Rice hits his ball well to right field. Moniak settles underneath it, 2 down.
The one thing, you know, you wonder when they start thinking about that next start. I mean, if you're thinking about, if Will Warren, you know, he'll go and analyze what he did today, and then I'm sure he'll sit down with Matt Blake, maybe Preston Claiborne. They'll all sit down and see what, you know, what he did right, what he did wrong, maybe mechanically or pitch selection. I'm sure you got to give your mind a little rest, you know, and then all of a sudden maybe that day before or 2 days before your next start, then you start dialing in that next team. You start thinking about, you know, tonight on the plane going to Anaheim, hey, I got to start thinking about the Dodgers. That's got to drive you nuts.
Isn't that the one part of the game, though, as Aaron Judge up here in the top of the 7th, that we got better at as we got older, is the mental part where you kind of get away from the game until you need to pick up the intensity mentally.
That's why I couldn't start. I mean, I started in the minor leagues, and it just drove me crazy. You have a bad game, you got to wait 5 days to, you know, go out there and redeem yourself. At least as a reliever, you're pitching every day.
Judge 2 for 3. Had a base hit in the first, a double and an RBI in the 5th.
You know, there's just mind-blowing stats on Aaron Judge. On pace for this, on pace for that, breaking this, breaking that. There was one that I haven't seen that I saw today. He's on pace for 466 total bases. That would break Babe Ruth's 1921 record of 457. I mean, it's just incredible. The thing that the stuff that he's doing this year.
Here comes a 3-2 from Herget. Sweeper down and away, gets Aaron Judge out front, and an easy 1-2-3 inning. Colorado Rockies right-hander. Another look at that curveball that dived down and away from Aaron Judge.
Top here Ford Studio Update. Bob and Jack with you. Long day of baseball, some rain. Now it's about battling through and just getting to the finish line with a win.
Yeah, good at-bats by Judge and Volpe got the Yankees to a 4-2 lead. Now it's 4-3, but Aaron Boone has his bullpen set up. Leiter Jr. will handle the 7th. He's got Williams looming for the 8th and Luke Weaver in the 9th. That bullpen has been terrific for the Yankees. They want to make sure they get the win. Rockies haven't won a series yet this season.
We will see you on the WB Mason postgame coming up, and we're going to get it back there, Jack, in just a second. But Williams seems to be in a really good spot right now.
Williams has been terrific, Bob. Across his last 11, the batting average against him, hitters are under 100. So it totally shows you that he's been able to turn things around. I think the fastball command and location has been a big part of that.
All right, we're going to get it back to Denver in just a minute, but also, where do you think Luke Weaver is at in terms of his efficiency? Because he's had a couple days off now, and prior to that, those 3 outings in a row, but he was really pitch efficient.
Yeah, remember when Boone used him 3 days in a row, the big thing about that was how he didn't throw a lot of pitches. He only threw a total of about 18 pitches. I don't think Boone would have done that if Weaver had had higher pitch counts, so I absolutely think Weaver is in play to try and get a save if the Yankees get to that point today.
One of the things we'll do on the postgame coming up, we'll hear from Aaron Boone, and hopefully going to hear from Will Warren, too, who now hasn't pitched for a while today, but again looked very good with 7 strikeouts.
I think Will Warren taught us something about himself today with getting through that first inning and suddenly becoming really strong across the next 3.
Did we just do more rain delay coverage? I don't know what just happened. Anyway, let's get it back to Flash and Nelly, guys.
Thank you very much, guys. You're doing it all in the studio today. Look at our game summary. Yankees lead 4-3. 7 hits for the Yankees, 4 for the Rockies. You guys just talked about Will Warren, 7 strikeouts in 4 innings. Aaron Judge, 2 for 4, an RBI double. An hour and 46-minute rain delay in the top of the 5th. But we are back here at Coors Field, bottom of the 7th inning. And we're going to look at the answer to our Name That Yankee. And again, we'll remind you of the clues. 273 batting average, 1,588 hits, 563 RBIs. You see the time with the Yankees, the military service. Behind the mic, 57 and 96. What you got, Nelly?
I have Phil Rizzuto.
The scooter.
The scooter. I remember. That was my first year with the Yankees in '96. Was his last year behind the mic.
Slick fielding shortstop for the Yankees. I only got to meet the scooter one time at an old timers day and couldn't have been nicer.
Oh, he was a great guy, and a great voice, great guy behind the mic. I love listening to him.
There he was with Bill White. There's that famous day when he got knocked over by the cow, and the resume: 7-time world champion, amazing, 1950 AL MVP, 5-time All-Star, Yankee broadcaster, 57 to 96, and stationed in the Pacific during World War II with the U.S. Navy, and in 1994 a Baseball Hall of Fame inductee. A very impressive resume for the scooter, Phil Rizzuto. Bottom of the 7th, it'll be 8, 9, and 1 for the Rockies. Martini, Amador, and Beck. Leiter Jr. still in there. And Jack Curry broke it down beautifully. Probably Leiter Jr. here for the 7th, Devin Williams for the 8th, and Luke Weaver for the 9th. Martini 0 for 2, a fly out and a ground out. Martini originally drafted by the St. Louis Cardinals. Swing and a miss on a good cutter down and in. One down here in the bottom of the 7th.
No, he threw a curveball. The previous pitch that was fouled down the line, and that was a really good cutter. Nice tight break down and in on Martini. A big strikeout to lead off the 7th.
It was Amador, the number 9 hitter, 0 for 2. Watch Leiter Jr. and he loads up with that split, Nelly, and if you're a scorer behind the plate, you're almost like a hockey goaltender, right? You don't know if he's going to yank it down and in, it's going to end up down and away, or if he's going to bounce it on home plate. So you can't anticipate one side of the plate to block that split.
No, absolutely. And it's almost like with Cruz. Cruz will throw a couple different ones. I see some of his grips, like which way he wants it to break, and he'll put that first finger on a seam to make it break down and away from a lefty, the middle finger on a seam to go the other way. And all of them, it seems like everyone that throws a split, they get that right away. They don't want to go into the glove and start digging around and trying to tip off that pitch. They'll be able to adjust if they want to go to the curve or the two-seamer, four-seamer, they can do that in the glove rather than dig in there for the split.
He goes in right now and gets that split grip. It's on the same page with the Scara behind the plate. And the 1-2. Split down and away. Swing and a miss. Another splitter. 2 outs, 2 strikeouts for Leiter Jr.
Yeah, more effective there right down the middle of the plate than you get that knuckling action down. That one before that was away, a little bit easier for Amador to see that ball. That one was great. Outstanding pitch.
2 quick outs. Jordan Beck. As the Yankees trying to hold on to a 1-run lead. Ground ball to third. Peraza up with it. Low throw. Goldschmidt able to make the play, and an easy 1-2-3 inning for Leiter Jr. We'll take this baby to the 8th. Today's injury report is brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. Giancarlo Stanton scheduled to take live BP for the next couple of weeks, and he could begin a rehab assignment after that. Tyler Kinley takes over for the Rockies. 1 run allowed over his last 6 games. A guy who throws a lot of sliders.
Yeah, slider, fastball, 94 to 96. There's a curveball as well.
There's a slider in there for strike 1 to Cody Bellinger. Well, good news on Giancarlo Stanton as he's on his way back. You got any more on that, Meredith?
Well, I asked Aaron Boone when he starts thinking about what that's going to mean for their roster construction, and he said when he is back. We're not talking about it yet. I only half believe that because they are going to have to make some decisions when it comes to that. As far as some other guys that are on the mend as well, Marcus Stroman threw a bullpen yesterday. He's expected to throw another one on Tuesday. Aaron Boone saying he got through that okay. I spoke with Fernando Cruz. He played catch the last 2 days, responded really well to that. He's expecting to throw from the mound for the first time on Monday, so perhaps it'll only be the 15 days for him as well. And Jazz Chisholm Jr. is hitting on the high velocity machine in New York. He's done that the last couple of days. Put a couple things out on his Insta stories, guys. He is itching to get back.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. That is a lengthy injury report. Meredith, appreciate that.
Anytime, Flash.
A lot of different guys. Be exciting to get Stan back. If
yes.
It's a situation. I thought Aaron Boone answered that question perfectly. We'll worry about that when it happens.
Exactly. Meredith could have covered the whole rain delay with the injury report.
The hope is it continues to get smaller, guys.
Yes.
Yes.
So Devin Williams getting loose in the Yankee bullpen. He'll probably come on for the 8th inning. Bellinger 0 for 2. 3-2 on the way. Fouled off. Good swing.
Two different styles of pitching here. You had Herget, the last pitcher for the Rockies, with a 3/4 angle and threw across his body a little bit. And with Kinley, he really opens up when he throws. That front foot will go towards Cody Bellinger.
Ground ball to short. Easy play for Tovar. Well, he's slick at shortstop. Makes it look easy. One down will bring up Jason Dominguez. Had that sacrifice fly in the 5th inning. And the 1-1 from Kinley, fouled straight back. And the 1-2, high fastball misses. Kinley scoreless in his last 2 and his last 5 of 6. Anthony Volpe waiting on deck. And the 3-2 from Kinley. That slider misses down. That'll be a 1-out walk for Dominguez. Well, we're going to take a look at Anthony Volpe in this replay. The optimum don't take slow for an answer replay.
Well, leading off the 2nd inning, this ball just continues to carry. Hits off of that wall, ricochets towards left field. It's an easy triple for the speedy Volpe.
Volpe 4 hits in this series, looking to add on as Dominguez is on the move. The throw from Goodman wide right hits Dominguez. Tovar able to come up with it. That'll be the 6th stolen base of the year for Dominguez.
A lot of off speed from Kinley, and he doesn't hold runners. There you see that leg kick. He's a big guy. Goodman had to hurry the throw. Catches him in that back hamstring, looked like.
And the 1-1 to Volpe. That's in there for a strike. Another slider. But Dominguez going to dive back into second. There's always a fine line as a catcher. Goodman behind the plate. You appreciate him paying attention to the running game. You're also ahead in the count 1-2 on Volpe. Goes slider, swing and a miss. 2 down. Went 2 down to bring up J.C. Escarra, having a good afternoon. 2 for 3. Double and an RBI, base hit the other way, struck out his last at bat. You know, as a backup player, when you're on a big league team, you're not going to get too many opportunities. And when you get your hits, you want them to be the big ones. Well, this would be a big one right here for Escarra if he can add on, give the Yankees a little breathing room.
Yeah, another big hole in between third base and shortstop.
Good swing, and there's a base hit to right field. Dominguez will score easily. And right on cue, J.C. Escarra, a big 2-out RBI base hit, the third hit of the afternoon. And the Yankees now lead 5-3.
Well, big insurance run right there, and a nice at bat as well. He went the other way in his first 2 hits. Well, he gets a fastball inside. He just pulls it over the head of Tolia, the first baseman. A 2-out RBI for Escarra.
It's a big afternoon. 3 hits for Escarra. Dominguez on the move with the crack of the bat. He's going to score easily. And you're right, Nelly, a big insurance run for the Yankees, and you see Escarra fired up. LeMahieu 0 for 3, swing and a miss at a slider.
It's got to be tough when you're catching maybe 1 or 2 times a week to stay sharp. You know, usually as a backup catcher, you're more concentrated on the pitcher than you're at bats, and to be able to come through like Escarra has done today, outstanding.
I'm glad you just brought that up, though, because I was thinking, is he going to be more excited about the 3 hits, a couple of RBIs, first career 3-hit game, or getting Will Warren straightened out after that first inning, getting him through 4 and working with the bullpen the rest of the way?
What would you be more proud of?
I'd be pumped up about the 3 hits for the first time in a career. And to have a couple of RBIs as a backup player, boy, that's a good day. There's a drive to center field. Doyle will settle underneath that right in front of the warning track, but the productive 8th inning for the Yankees as Escarra drives in another 5-3 Bombers. This year marks Yogi Berra's 100th birthday, and the Yankees have a special giveaway to help commemorate it. On Friday, June 6th, the first 18,000 guests will receive a special Yogi Berra U.S. Navy bobblehead that recognizes his military service, courtesy of State Farm. Tickets are going fast, so get your tickets today at Yankees.com. Trent Grisham in for defense, playing center field. Cody Bellinger will slide over to left. Jason Dominguez, his afternoon is over. And the Yankees have a new pitcher out on the mound. Devin Williams will take over here in the 8th inning. First pitch changeup and a big swing and a miss.
Yeah, he's pitched really well. He's been scored upon in 1 of his last 11 appearances.
Batting average against over those last 11 games, .097. It'll be 2, 3, and 4 for the Rockies. Tovar, Goodman, and McMahon. Actually have the sun shining through here in the bottom of the 8th inning at Coors Field. Tovar 1 for 3. Nelly, our good buddy David Cohn always talks about protecting your best pitch, and for Williams, his best pitch is that changeup. You got to throw enough fastballs to protect the changeup.
Right, and that changeup is so good because it comes out of the same arm slot. You know, you don't slow up your windup.
There's that fastball at 93. First out is a strikeout here in the bottom of the 8th.
Yeah, you get hitters looking for that airbender, that good changeup that he has, and then you're able to sneak 93 by him. But everything comes out of the same arm slot. You're not slowing up your windup with that changeup. It's all at the same speed. It makes that changeup even better, more deceptive when it looks like a fastball.
1 down, bring up the Rockies catcher Hunter Goodman. Over the last 11 for Williams, he's walked 4, struck out now 16.
And the 2-1. Another swing and a miss on a good fastball. Nelly, that's 93 right down the middle.
Right, and I think because of that changeup is so good, you know, you still have to protect with the fastball, but when you get in the counts, you know, he was behind 1-0 through the changeup, and he was behind 2-1. Maybe looking for that changeup again, and then you get a fastball.
Fastball just misses at 94. Looked like Williams wanted that one.
Now just got the top of the zone. Maybe a little bit out. And here's probably a situation that, you know, Williams is not going to give in a 3-2. Might drop one of those air benders in. Get a swing and miss.
And the 3-2. Goes changeup and a hot shot to left field. Goodman able to stay on it. 1 out base hit here in the 8th.
Well, Goodman probably thinking the same thing. Not going to give in with the fastball. He's looking changeup. It was elevated. The changeup's elevated, a little bit easier to hit.
This will be a good matchup here. Ryan McMahon. He's a better hitter than those numbers. 1 for 3, a single in the 6th. Two-run game. Yankees lead 5-3.
This is where you just stay away with McMahon to try to get a ground ball, maybe something down, a changeup or a two-seamer down in the zone to get him to roll over on it.
Played for the Hall of Fame manager Sparky Anderson in Detroit, and he would always tell me, you call a game depending on what the scoreboard tells you to call. The Yankees have a 2-run lead. Obviously, you're staying away from that one swing of the bat that could change it. So I'm on the same page with you, Nelly. Anything down and away, stay away from in and down and in. 1-2 Sky down the left field line. Volpe on the move. Bellinger, and nobody's going to be able to get it. That was actually Peraza on the move.
And that was a changeup, and that was down and in. That was supposed to be away. He got away with one right there.
You see the numbers 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts against Williams. Now the one thing, if you get in a situation like this, if you want to throw something in, throw it way in off the plate just to show that you will go inside and then go back away after it. Looks like they're going away.
Yeah, 2 mislocated pitches right there. That was a fastball supposed to be on the outer half. That was center cut. You know, like you mentioned, Flash, if you want to go in, you go up and in to set up that next pitch. If he's covering the outside half, and that's where you want to get him out. You have to show him something in.
Another 1-2. Close pitch as a changeup doesn't get the call. And you can tell by the body language Williams wanted this.
Well, nice job by Escar to bring that back up into the zone. There you see just at the bottom, maybe a few inches down.
The battle going on here. Swing and a miss. Williams gets him. Big strikeout for the 2nd out of the inning.
Well, going upstairs, 94. No, 0 for 5, 5 Ks. McMahon is against Williams.
The 2 down to bring up Brenton Doyle. 21st pitch from Williams coming here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Good fastball in there for a strike. Swing and a miss on a good changeup. And the 2-2. Yanked it off the plate, down and away. That'll release Goodman at first. He'll be on the move. Goldschmidt will play behind. And the 3-2 coming to Doyle. And that misses. So the Rockies have something going here with 2 outs in the 8th.
Well, it looked like Williams overthrew that fastball. I'll go out and talk to him. He yanked that one changeup, and then he overthrew that 3-2 fastball upstairs.
Matt Blake, pitching coach, on his way back to the Yankee dugout.
Well, again, Flash, you're in a situation that if you're going to get beat here, you want to get beat away. Everything should be away from Tolio.
Goodman off of second, Doyle off of first. Tolio, the switch hitter. And he takes that changeup down. Tolio, a guy who's gotten off to a slow start this year, had a couple of days off to work on his swing. Open a big spot here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And Williams quickly ahead, 1-2. And the 1-2. Williams gets him. He earned it there in the bottom of the 8th inning. 3 strikeouts for Williams. The Yankees lead this one 5-3. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Williams gets congratulations in the Yankee dugout. He had to earn it. A lot of pitches, but 3 strikeouts in the inning.
Yeah, big inning for him, especially here in Colorado, and getting out of that little jam that he got himself into.
The pitcher for the Rockies, the hard-throwing right-hander, Seth Halverson. 100 miles an hour average fastball velo. It'll be 9-1-2. Peraza, Goldschmidt, and Rice.
Halverson pitched a clean inning on Friday against the Yankees to help the Rockies win the opener.
Ground ball foul. Peraza 0 for 3. Luke Weaver getting ready in the Yankee bullpen. Yankees trying to take the last 2 games in this 3-game set. Continue on the long road trip out to Anaheim. Popped up right side. Tolio settling underneath in foul territory. 1 down. Today, after the Yankees coverage on Yes, keep it here for the latest episode of The Story of My Number, presented by the New York Lottery, featuring Dwight Gooden. Then this Wednesday at 7:30, don't miss a new episode with number 21, Paul O'Neill, on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Paul Goldschmidt, another good game for him. 2 for 4, a couple of runs. And a fastball up and in. Just missed. That'll get your attention.
Yeah, it will. At 99 miles an hour.
Good slider in there for a strike to get ahead in the count. 1 and 2.
You get 99 up and in, you step off the plate a little bit more.
That would get my attention, and then 2 sliders down and away. Fastball in at 100 miles an hour. 2 down.
You can see Goodman set up on the inside half again. That's some good movement at 100.
That'll bring up the DH, Ben Rice, 0 for 3 with a walk. Hit a hard line drive his first at bat to right field. And a big swing at the hard throwing right-hander. Yankees scored 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 2 in the fifth, 1 in the eighth for their 5. Rockies 2 in the first, 1 in the sixth. They trail 5-3. And the 0-2 to Ben Rice. Slider misses down and in, actually a split. Hot shot, right field. Moniak's not going to be able to come up with that one. It's over his head, short, hops the wall. And Ben Rice in the second with a 2-out double, which will give the captain, Aaron Judge, another at-bat.
Yeah, you wonder if they're going to walk Judge here with first base open. But this is a fastball, a great at-bat that he got on top of, and he drilled it to right center field.
Well, you're all over it, Nelly. They're going to intentionally walk Aaron Judge. A lot of Yankee fans in the building not happy with that decision. Comes the pitching coach, Darryl Scott.
On some occasions, I'm surprised that doesn't happen more when there's first base open and Aaron Judge comes up, whether there's men on or not.
Fans
Fans after the final out get highlights, analysis, clubhouse interviews, and hear from the manager. Plus a look ahead to the series with the Angels. That's all coming up on the W.B. Mason Yankees postgame. Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry have been busy this afternoon. A little pregame show, rain delay coverage for an hour and 46 minutes.
Overtime.
A little extended 7th inning cut-in.
If they got their pizza like in between and
we're going to give
snacks.
Everybody another good post-game show, so you got to tune in. As Cody Bellinger walks up to the plate, 0 for 3. Manelli, I know it's the move that you have to make, walking Aaron Judge, but I kind of would have liked to see Halverson and his 100-mile-an-hour fastball going against Aaron Judge.
Yeah, to see how far that thing can go over the wall.
Rice off a second, Judge off a first. Hot shot back up the middle. Tovar was played perfectly. So the Yankees strand a few in the top of the 9th. Luke Weaver will be on trying to close this one out. Let's take a look at the upcoming schedule, brought to you by your local tri-state Buick dealers. Yankees will fly out to Anaheim tonight, play 3 against the Angels. Day off on Thursday, and 3 games over the weekend against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Come back, have Monday off, and Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday against the Guardians, and then the rival Boston Red Sox in for the weekend for a 3-game set.
First time the Yankees will see the Red Sox.
Luke Weaver trying to close it out here in the bottom of the 9th. 21 games, 7 out of 8 in save opportunities, and that .40 ERA.
He's been incredible again. Fastball changeup. He's a strike thrower. You see those 6 walks. Doesn't put guys on. This isn't the place to be putting guys on.
Well, it'll be 7, 8, and 9 for the Rockies. Mickey Moniak lead off 0 for 3, trying to get something going here in the 9th for Colorado. Deep drive to right field. Judge going back, looking, and gone. A home run for Mickey Moniak to cut the lead 5-4 Yankees.
Now that big insurance run in the 8th inning, Escara's RBI base hit. And it was a big run right there. Would have made it a tie ball game, but right there, a fastball, he's just trying to get ahead. He first pitched through for a ball, wanted to get back into the count, left it up. And it was in. He was supposed to be down and away, out over the middle of the plate.
That is the first home run that Luke Weaver has given up this year, and he knew it. Martini, number 8 hitter in the lineup for the Rockies. Martini 0 for 3, fly out, ground out, and a strikeout. And the 1-1 from Weaver. Line drive left field. Bellinger settling underneath it. 1 down. Good swings against Weaver here in the 9th.
Yeah, it's nice to get that out. You got a 4-seam fastball, a little fly ball to left field. You have to get over that home run quickly. You still have the lead.
1 down to bring up Adiel Amador, 0 for 3, number 9 hitter for the Rockies. Peraza playing in on the grass, possibility of a bunt.
First pitch swinging, looper to left field, and that is going to drop. A hit for Amador. Good job by Bellinger, hustling it up, getting it in, holding him to a single.
That was a jam shot. The fastball again, supposed to be away. It was inside and up, and it jammed Amador. And this is in no man's land. You see Bellinger playing more towards left center field. No chance for that. And Amador maybe thinking two, but he had to put the brakes on.
Well, we're going to have a pinch runner. Tyler Freeman. Freeman can run. 3 stolen bases, has not been thrown out. So things getting interesting here. Bottom of the 9th against Luke Weaver. Yankees lead 5-4. Weaver's going to check on Freeman. And Jordan Beck up at the plate. 1 for 4, double in a first, scored a run.
Big hole between first and second. Mayhew playing Beck to pull. Goldschmidt has to hold on the runner.
Base hit the other way. Freeman to second. Beck with a 1-out single.
You can almost see it. You had that huge hole, and Beck does a good job of going the other way. He gets a pitch. Another mislocated pitch from Weaver. That was supposed to be inside and caught too much of the plate, and it was up. A little bit easier for Beck to go the other way. There you see how he lets that ball travel. He's thinking right field the whole way. And they exposed that big hole in between first and second.
Moniak led off the 9th with a home run. Martini a hard line drive to left. Amador dumped the base hit in the left field, and now Jordan Beck, hot shot the other way. This is where the big-time relievers, they realize they're 1 pitch away. 3 hits allowed today already, a season high. You're 1 pitch away from working your way out of trouble here. Here's Ezekiel Tovar. First and second, 1 down.
Well, you know Tovar is going to be aggressive. He's a free swinger. He does not want to walk. He wants to try to be the hero here. Beck at first has a lot of speed. Anything in the gap, he's probably scoring.
The 0-1. Swing and a miss at a changeup. Weaver quickly ahead 0-2.
Yeah, you stay with that pitch. I wouldn't give him a fastball here. Just stay with something down and off speed. Another good changeup.
Well, the Colorado Rockies have not won a series. 0 for 16 this season. They're trying to change that. Luke Weaver's trying to pick up a save. The Yankees are looking to take 2 out of 3.
Well, it looked like a starter wanted something inside. I would stay down and away. The fastball location in this inning has not been that great with Weaver. Well, fastball. This sets up the next pitch. You get Tovar, even though you didn't mean to go in that high. It does set up that changeup down and away.
Freeman off of second. Beck his lead off of first. And the 1-2 to Tovar spoiled the other way.
That was a changeup. It was elevated. This is where you want something down in the dirt.
see Luke Weaver turn around. He got away with one right there. A good swing from the Rockies shortstop. And the 1-2. Do it again. Fly ball right field. Easy play for Aaron Judge. Freeman is tagging. He will hold at second. And a big out from Luke Weaver.
Well, that was a good battle with Tovar. The 7-pitch at bat finally got him with a changeup away.
Tomorrow night, stay up late with Yes for a battle of young shortstops as Anthony Volpe and the Bombers head to Los Angeles for a matchup with Zach Neto and the Angels. Pre-game coverage begins at 9 o'clock with first pitch scheduled for shortly after 9:30 on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. A good matchup coming up here. Hunter Goodman, 340 hitter with runners in scoring position, against Luke Weaver, the closer for the Yankees. Yankees trying to hold on, take 2 or 3 here in Colorado. Goodman walked in the first, struck out in the third. Ground ball in the sixth, and a base hit his last at bat. Swing and a miss with a good changeup. Weaver gets ahead.
Goodman looked like he was thinking fastball there.
31 RBIs lead the Rockies. Freeman off a second. Beck taking his lead off of first. They'll be on the move with contact. A swing and a miss. Yankees 1 strike away.
Well, just like Tovar, 2 changeups away, 2 bad swings. I would go right back out there.
A lot of Yankee fans still hanging around at Coors Field. They're on their feet. And the 0-2 from Luke Weaver. Yankees looking for their 32nd victory of the year. And the 2-2 from Weaver. That's fouled off. Some good swings on the fastball from Luke Weaver here in the ninth.
Yeah, and I was elevated. I would go with that changeup down, try to bounce something away. He's had some poor swings on that changeup down.
The 21st pitch of the inning from Weaver on the way. 2-2. Ground ball out in front of the plate. Should be an easy play for Weaver. The underhand toss
And the Yankees take 2 out of 3 from the Colorado Rockies. It was not easy for Luke Weaver in the bottom of the 9th. The Yankees will win their 32nd game of the season and take that victory and head out to Anaheim tonight.
And their 6th straight series win. Outstanding job. A rain-shortened outing for Will Warren. 7 punch-outs in 4 innings. And a nice job by the bullpen to pick up 5 innings. Williams, nice job. You look at Leiter, Loizaga gave up a run, and then Weaver with the save. But again, some key at-bats. You had Judge. And then also Escarra with a big day himself.
That was a big base hit and RBI for J.C. Escarra. Gave the Yankees a little bit of breathing room that they needed. A lot of smiles from Aaron Boone. Yankees take 2 out of 3 in Colorado. We will be back. Let's take a look at our Cadillac drives of the game.
Well, J.C. Escarra, this is in the 2nd inning. This is a double down the left field line. That's an RBI double. It's going to score Volpe, and then again in the 4th. Another base hit going the other way, just over the shortstop Tomar's head. But there's the big hit in the 8th. A 2-out RBI single to make it 5-3, and the Yankees go on to win 5-4. Big day, 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs.
Yeah, the Yankees went 5-4. 9 hits for the Bombers, 8 hits for the Rockies. It took 2 hours and 53 minutes. Mark Leiter Jr. picks up the win, his 3rd of the year. Luke Weaver with his 8th save. Nelly just detailed J.C. Escarra and his big afternoon. The Yankees have won 6 consecutive series. Coming up on the Yes Network, stay tuned for the WB Mesa postgame show with Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry. Very special thanks to our producer, Troy Benjamin, our director, Michael Cooney, Mike Webb, and our executive producer is Jared Ames Boschnack. Join us tomorrow as the Yankees head to Southern California for a matchup against the Angels. Coverage will begin at 9 o'clock on Yes, with first pitch coming shortly after 9:30. Once again, the final score, New York Yankees 5, Colorado Rockies 4. For Jeff Nelson, Meredith Marakovitz, I'm John Flaherty. I want to thank you for hanging with us this whole weekend. Now let's go to Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry, who are standing by so very patiently with the post-game show.